What's going on, family? How you doing? Welcome to the People Let's Talk. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Mr. Trav Smooth, Ty from the Shop, Pretty Intellectual, True Blue, Mont, Willie. We got a few more other folks that's supposed to pull up in a second. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you are watching the replay, make sure you hit the button and subscribe as well. How you doing, family?
One of these days we're gonna get my name right. I guess I gotta change it to Blue though.
Oh, my bad, man. Long week, man.
No worries, man. No worries.
Oh, I apologize for that, brother. That was on me.
No worries.
I was when I shot you that message earlier, it came to my mind that True Blue when I was searching for your name. So I probably had something to do with that. But I'll bet I get it right next time.
All good.
What's going on, ladies? How you doing? It's Ty, Pretty Intellectual.
Doing good. How are you?
No complaints, man. Allergies acting up, but I'm gonna get through it.
You looking salt and peppery over there.
You said what?
You looking salt and peppery over there.
Oh yeah. Embracing.
That's good.
Yeah, letting it shine. We got an excellent show here for you guys. Nobody feels safe to commit. Tonight is simple. Nobody feels safe to commit anymore. Men feel like marriage is a financial trap. Women feel like love is unstable and men can leave. Everybody's guarding themselves, but everybody still wants real love. So we ask them one question all night. What would make commitment feel safe again? Chad, I want you to go ahead and vote for me. Put men, women, or both as far as who feels less safe to commit. And a question I want to kick it off, let's set the baseline. What safe means to you? I'm going to start with you, Trev. What does safe mean to you?
I would say safe means you have that assurance that the person you choose to be with is going to be there for you and is going to make sure that you're good and pour into you. I don't believe that most of us feel that safety that we should. I believe that men are checking out because they're scared and women are apprehensive because they don't believe that they'll be satisfied with what they get.
Go ahead, Ms. Ty. What does safe mean to you?
I think it's what Trey said, assurance and also security. Knowing that someone's going to be there in good and bad times. I think nowadays people don't feel safe being in relationships because there is a lack of commitment in our, society. People don't want to stay in relationships for the longevity. When things go wrong, people usually want to dip and find something new, something shiny, something more exciting. So.
All right. Yeah. It's on you, ma'am.
I would say I for the most part agree. I think the words assurance and security stick out to me when it comes to safety. What was the second part of the question? Did you say why?
I'm just setting the baseline as far as what safe means to each person.
Then I would agree with those definitions.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Table.
I would say safety in a relationship looks like equitability to me. I don't think you're ever going to really be able to create a fairness. But I do believe that in this season, I would like to see more ladies and maybe even more men, depending on the dynamic, to like treat each other with like white glove service. If we're not going to work, we're going to separate. Let's do it amicably and not come for me, or try to deplete me, vice versa. That's what I think it looks like.
All right, go ahead, Mark.
It's an interesting question. I think it's so many layers to it, so many different aspects to safety. I'll just say I think that a lot of men and also women are cautious of is them being able to give their entire self to somebody and know that that other person is going to give them 100% also. A lot of times you feel like you're prepared and you're ready to do everything and give everything to somebody, and you're just cautious of, is this person, going to give me everything also? Because a lot of people are givers and a lot of people were givers, and then they kind of, felt like based on their past, they had to kind of tone it down. But I think that's that's an aspect, and that was always one for me of, am I going to give too much, and this person not, you know, give in return, I'm not going to say equal to what I'm giving, but at least, like True said, something equitable. So
Go ahead, Willie. What does safe mean to you, brother?
Lacking danger. I'm simple, but it's by definition of the word. So, safe in a relationship isn't something that I think I don't concern myself with, as far as I just make sure it's worth it more so than anything else. So it kind of all goes into it together for me. But yeah, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. If something is safe, it means it is free of danger. And that's all it is for me.
Okay. So you're looking at it more from an attack.
From a what?
Like from an attack, like physical.
No, hell no. No, I'm not worried about a woman, anything physical coming from a woman. Like, woman can't do nothing to me. I'm talking about as far as danger. Like, there are a lot of things that these women these days do in relationships that's normalized that I think is dangerous. So, some of those things I would be
Okay.
averse to.
Can you give me some examples?
Selling pussy, cheating, being disrespectful, being masculine, all of those things. Like, I don't need a man shit. Being a black feminist, all of those things, dangerous.
All right. What kills safety faster, cheating or disrespect? What kills safety faster, cheating or disrespect?
I think that's very subjective. And you know what? I think for women, it's cheating. For men, it's disrespect. That's what I think it is. That's what kills it faster, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, but, we know men, the way you show love to a man is by respecting him. And if you're respecting him, then you won't be cheating, or you won't, be too aggressive with him. You'll treat him a certain type of way. And for women, it's about loyalty. Are you loyal to just me? So when you cheat on me, I instantly don't feel as safe in the relationship. I feel disrespected. I feel less valued.
I understand what Todd's saying. However, I do think it's wrong. Based on what I think I know of most men. Typically, respect. There's like a grace given for that, right? Where you get into a relationship, and your woman might have to learn you. So if you feel like your woman's not respecting you to the level that you want to be respected, you might have a conversation with her. Cheating is no conversation with that. It's over with that. Like, there's no grace. At least from my perspective. So the cheating kills it all. The disrespect has like you can talk about that.
Monty, would you feel that? Oh, I'm sorry, Pretty. I was just going to ask a question really quickly. In regards to disrespect, wouldn't cheating fall under that disrespect towards a man? Wouldn't that be disrespectful to him?
Yeah, that would definitely be objectively disrespectful.
So, like, it's like under the umbrella is what I was saying. That's why, like, respect. If you have respect for your man, you're not even going to think about cheating. You won't do things to put yourself in a situation to even cheat because you respect him.
Yeah, I guess I tried to take into consideration the question, since he put them up against each other. I did separate them for the sake of the question.
Sure. Okay.
Go ahead, Pretty.
I think that that's kind of was going to be my point, Ty. Cheating is inherently disrespect. But cheating is an umbrella of many different things. And so that's why I disagree with the aspect that women care about cheating, men care about disrespect. I think both care about both things. There's really no way to segment it, because I don't think women deal well with being just disrespected, and neither do men. And nobody wants you to break the vows of your relationship. So I have a hard time saying what breaks safety more, because prior to cheating, disrespect would enter the picture. Nobody is respectful and just cheats. So typically, if they're gonna cheat and be unfaithful, then there's already disrespect that would have hindered that safety.
Go ahead, True.
I actually wanted to ask Ty a question. Maybe she can answer it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why don't y'all just date dudes that don't cheat on you? Like, it may sound like an oversimplified question, but as you were talking, I literally sit back.
True. It's oversimplified because the reality of it is men don't walk around with a poster on their head saying that they're a cheater.
Yeah,
right?
they do. Yeah,
No,
they do.
They don't.
They do.
Don't. They don't.
Okay, I'm listening.
But I understand, right? Because I feel like you're viewing this from a man's perspective. And what I've learned over time is that I think men are they're much more perceptive of things than women are, right? We tend to romanticize things. So a man that's giving you all this attention and he's whining and dining you and making you feel good, you're not thinking, he probably does this for everybody. Unless you've gone through those situations before, you're not going to have that guard up. You're thinking that he's all about you. And then later on, he can be a cheater. And that's how you learn that lesson, where men tend to pick up on different things. They pay attention to small details. They're looking from a logical mindset rather than just this emotional mindset. And women go into, especially when you like someone, more of an emotional space first. So I think it's harder for women to decipher whether or not a man is truly a cheater unless it's really just in your face, right? He has multiple women. His phone is always going off. He doesn't answer your phone calls. But there are relationships where none of that happens. You think you're loyal to each other, you locked in, and then boom, your whole world is blown up and you realize that he's cheating on you or that he has cheated. So it's not just as simple as like, don't date cheaters.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Ty, and maybe this is me looking at it from a male perspective. I know dudes, and I know dudes, and I know pretty nose dudes that would cut off their left arm before they ever disrespect you in a relationship. Why I say date men that don't cheat is because it's interesting. It's like a dichotomy, right? That dude actually turns you off. You don't date him because he's easy. He's not... There's no conquer. You don't earn that. He just gives it to you. He lays the world in front of your feet. I'm speaking in general, not just you. Mm-hmm. Then the dude that actually, like, he may wine and dine, he may talk smooth or whatever, but see, that excites you. And that's why I don't understand it. If he excites you, he more than likely don't just excite you. He more than likely has this ability to do this past you. Get the dude that fumbles. Get the dude that stutters. Y'all don't like him. He won't cheat on you. But then you complain about being cheated on. The crap don't make no sense. It's like
it's not that they should get the guy who doesn't cheat. They need to get the guy that can't cheat. The guy who, like, if you're not the best that man can do, you're never going to be safe. And then you have to remember that men don't cheat on women worth being faithful to. So if you were worth not being cheated on, he's not going to cheat on you. You just have to remember that you have no say in how he values you. So you can think that you're worth all the fidelity in the world. But if that man doesn't agree with you, if he doesn't give you the same, he doesn't assess your value at the same level, then he can think that, you can think you're worth it. He can like, okay, well, she's worth being faithful to until I can hit something better, until I'm bored, until I'm at this bachelor party, the stripper trying to give me some. It just all depends on what your value is to that man. And you have no control over that.
Right. I agree. We have no control over what a man sees as valuable, right? So you can be a good woman, you can be attractive, you can meet their needs and do everything that they need for you to do. But if they want to cheat, they're still going to cheat, right? So I think it's so easy to speak from one perspective and be like, just don't date someone who cheats on you, or date someone where you're the best thing that they can get. Because you can be in a place where you meet a guy and you are the best thing that he can get. And then his life levels up.
So that would make you not the best thing then. You have to stay the best thing.
Why wouldn't they be the best thing? Because she was with you when you had nothing.
Because that's not what matters to me.
When you didn't have anything. So she's the best thing because she's the most valuable, meaning that she liked you for you.
She's not the best thing. She's the safest thing. She's the most consistent thing. And that's what happens when men try to explain things to women. Y'all try to take what we're saying and give it back to us through your view or with your opinion. We're telling you how men look at it. And a lot of men, if you were the best before I leveled up, you were the best thing. You were the best I could have pulled. But now I walk into a club, I walk into a building, and every 10 in that room is looking at me because they knew who I am, because I have name now, because I have status. So you're not the best that I can do. You're the safest that I've done.
Right. I will say this, Willie. Just like you say, we take things and try to tell you what our perspective is, or we flip it. I feel like men do the same thing, but that's just how we're going to be able to communicate, because we can only speak from our perspective, right? Our view on the situation. But from what you just stated, there is no clear route then for a woman. At the end of the day, we will always get the short end of the stick. Whether we pick someone who we may be the best for, we got to hold him back and hope he never levels up, because then I'm not the best anymore.
Well, I don't disagree with you saying that you guys are always going to be subjective to not being the best thing. But what you can do are make sure that you keep doing the things that he likes, the things he values in a woman, the things that'll bring him home at night. That's all you can do, is control what you can control. And if you can't, the things you can't even worry about. Because if one thing for certain, two things for sure, if a man doesn't want you, he's going to show you. He probably won't tell you, because men will stay unhappy for years, but he will show you that he's unhappy and that he doesn't want you. So you got to pay attention to that.
All right, go ahead, Pretty. And then we get Trav in there.
So I think, like, at least appreciate the honesty. And this is exactly goes into the point of the question. We've clearly seen, based on what we just heard, that's why women don't feel safe enough to commit for real, right? Like, you're answering your own question. And so I think it's perfect. It means that no matter how much you build with a man, which is why I always say never be a Build-A-Barbara ever, because of the fact that when you build with that man, when you commit to that man, y'all will be the same ones. You weren't with me shooting in the gym. Well, apparently the ones with you shooting in the gym got bad knees now, and now you don't want her, right? Like, so it's like that's the thing where it's one or the other, right? These will be the same men who will say, "Oh, why do these women always want a finished product?" Well, because when she builds, now all of a sudden that commitment that she has spent that entire time has no merit, because you walked in and you got a little bit of attention, right? Because a lot of y'all peaked. So, like, being able to get some notoriety and attention makes you feel so good that you're going to betray the person who has literally been standing beside your side. Like, this is why these arguments, I'm like, I feel like sometimes y'all just say whatever is going to be the most clickbaity thing that somebody can clip and say, "Ooh, he owned them. He owned the females." Like, it's not really something that's consistent with your prior perspectives. It's not something that's consistent with any belief system that you think men should have, because a lot of y'all will be the same ones to say, stop picking these women who only want you for your money, but then turn around and say, I'll leave a woman who wanted me for me because I now have money. It makes no sense. And the whole idea of stay the best woman, what does that even mean? Stay the best woman he's ever met. How do I stay the best woman you've ever met when your eyes are already straying? When you've already now started stacking me up against strangers who have not committed as much in you as I have? I don't understand how that's even a logical conversation to have. But I will tell you, Lapeef, that answers your question.
Go ahead, Trev.
The ladies, an unrealistic caveat. I do believe that they can find a man that's worthwhile that just doesn't cheat. It's only reported that about 20% of married men cheat, right? We could say that maybe you don't believe that, but I would venture to say that it's somewhere around that range. I do believe that the particular archetype that most women are attracted to do cheat. So the gentlemen have a point where you can say find a man that doesn't cheat. Now there are some telltale signs that will indicate that this man is cheating. You can tell just by, first off, the history, how he moves. You can tell by how the way women respond to him and how he responds back to those women. It's not something that you need to lose sleep over. If you're taking care of your business, Willie made the point that all you can do is mitigate the risk, right? We have that same type of anxiety when we're thinking about if the woman's going to get tired of us and leave us, which happens overwhelmingly on the side of women leaving. So we have a similar fear. It's not our fault, but you just do what you can do to avoid that, right? I don't think that there's any any woman who should necessarily be concerned with that. If you're doing everything that you need to do, most men don't cheat for emotional reasons. They cheat for physical reasons. And a lot of the times it's because the woman is not very attentive to the man's needs. A lot of times women feel like they're above catering to a man. A lot of times women get tired of catering to a man, and women get lazy. Those are the things that you can avoid. Was that? You had something pretty?
I just was raising my hand to respond, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
No, you can finish. I was literally just raising my hand to respond. Once you're done.
Go ahead. You can respond, and then I'll rebuttal, I guess.
A lack of attention, not being attentive to one's needs, those are quite literally emotional reasons. You said those are physical reasons, but those are emotional reasons. If a man feels neglected and a woman is not attentive, if she's not paying attention, that would be an emotional reason. So it's not physical, right? Like physical would be you're not attracted to her anymore. Her not paying attention and making you feel neglected, that would be emotional. So I don't understand why the need to clarify if in essence you're saying the same thing. Oh, you're muted but not muted because I can't.
But you go ahead and finish, Brady.
Yeah. So essentially I was saying that was contradictory, and also I don't think that responded to what I said, because what you said is that I was being unrealistic, but nothing about what I said was unrealistic. What I'm asking is for you guys to remain logically consistent. That's what I'm asking. I'm saying if you're saying it's A, then it can't also be B, right? Like, so let's not contradict ourselves in this conversation based on other talking points I've heard you guys have in other conversations where you have spoken to how women do not care about building with a man. They want to finish product A, B, and C, all this stuff. And then you turn around and say, I don't want a woman who built with me because I want now the next thing I walk in because she likes the fact that I have a name to me. Like that's what I'm saying.
So pretty, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you now.
Yeah. Let me just tell her real quick. So what I was talking about was sexual attention, and that is a physical need. Initially, my response wasn't really to you. I don't even know, but either way, I'm talking about sexual attention. That's where women usually lack, right? They don't take care of that. They don't think that that's a thing that's necessary, and that's usually that's the primary reason for a man cheating, because his physical needs are not met, or unless she's just straight up disrespectful.
I wouldn't agree with that one.
No,
I would only not agree with that one because from where I come from, it's just a culture. Like I planned on cheating on you before I got with you. Like I never planned on stopping. So maybe certain individuals, it's just like, oh, I'm lacking sex. My girl's not having sex with me. But just from what I know of the community that I come from, the people that I know, and the men that I know, it's just like it's just the status quo. It's just how I'm operating in a relationship. So,
but I think you would be one of those people that they were describing as a perpetual cheater, right? We're talking about men who are driven to cheating and how to mitigate the risks, versus a man who has developed a lifestyle of promiscuity, which is fine, but I mean, it is what it is.
I wanted to comment on the part where you stated that men usually cheat because women are neglecting their physical needs. And in some cases, there are some women that just neglect them, physical needs, right? They get comfortable. They don't want to do the things they used to do. They don't feel the need to. But I also think there are circumstances in which the woman isn't neglecting the physical need, but it's something missing from her end too, where the man is dropping the ball in some type of way, right? Like he's not as focused. There are other things to focus on. Maybe their careers aren't where they need to be. The household is in disarray. For a woman to be stimulated and want to be asexual with you, we're not like men where we could just always go. We have to be stimulated in multiple ways. And sometimes just like women can get comfortable, I feel like men do the same thing, but still expect the same energy from women. And it just doesn't happen like that.
That's a cop out. Like,
why
no, because I won't accept it. I won't accept it. And neither will any of the men accept it. You were deliberately putting yourself at risk. If you don't understand it as a duty or something that you should do, guess what? You get cheated on and you deserve it. Sorry.
Do you think that you also have duties that you should adhere to?
Yeah, but men understand duty a lot more than men. Men understand duty way more than women do.
But
Men take duty seriously.
If you're not adhering to your duties, is she expected to continue to adhere to hers?
No, she should cheat. And he would deserve
it. And everything should be fine, right? You should forgive her because you weren't.
He would deserve it, just like Trev said.
That's not even where I was going with it.
Can y'all hear yourself?
What I was talking about in the situation is that the man is also lacking in his duties. Duties is the word you wanted to use. So in his duties, he's lacking. So now she is also lacking in the physical part because we have other things to focus on. You're trying to get your rocks off and I'm trying to figure out how the bills are going to get paid. You're trying to get your rocks off. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with our children. You're trying to, get your rocks off. It has to come both ways. And all I'm saying is in certain circumstances, not the majority, not everyone, but in certain circumstances, there are times where the man might drop the ball. And so the woman is not meeting him where he wants to be. And instead of there being conversations, the first thing the man thinks to do is to step out and cheat. But that's not the first thing the woman thinks to do if she's in that situation and you're.
If you feel like your duty is predicated upon me doing what I'm doing, that's crazy. You're supposed to hold your part of the bargain, whatever the case is, right? If you
just said that our duties are predicated. Your duties are my duties are predicated off of what you do.
We're talking about duties versus cheating. Duties versus cheating. Duties versus cheating. You're deliberately putting yourself at risk for it. Women said they care about a dude not cheating, right? That's one of your main concerns. This is how you avoid it. Men typically don't put their duties aside. Women just get tired of shit or expect more or move the goalpost. That's why women are generally dissatisfied with men, is because they expect more. They get into new environments, change their mind about what it was that they agreed to initially, move the goalpost, and then now they expect you to become Superman or do some other shit that you couldn't do, or try to motivate you into a situation that you never discussed in the beginning of your relationship.
So, Trev, we noticed how when Ty said that she automatically assumes men will treat for no reason, but then assumed and tried to assert as if it was a fact that women don't do that. That's what happened when you
told the fact that women didn't do that.
You did. We can rewind it, but that's exactly what you did. You said men will cheat just because of this. Women don't do it because of that. And so you can speak for yourself, but you can't speak for all women. And anytime we have a conversation talking about cheating, the people who've been cheated on, which unfortunately largely is women, they're the ones that have this visceral response to it. One of the things that I'm very, very consistent about is saying, hey, a woman shouldn't be with a nigga building like that she doesn't know or have a relationship with prior to. That build the nigga shit, y'all shouldn't do that. I'm also the same guy that says that if a man isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing and his woman cheats, and those things have been clearly outlined, then there is a bigger issue. However, you can't be mad at her for being what's in her nature. Women by nature are hypergamous. Men don't become hypergamous until we earn the ability to, which is why I said that when you were the best that he was doing when he was down, that's cool. But now he's got success, notoriety. That man is going to be as faithful to you as his options and his opportunities are. That's like none of this stuff is complicated. None of this stuff is, you know what I'm saying, contrarian. It's something that's simple. Like that guy may cheat just because he wants to, just because he can, just because he went to this place and a girl, the type of girl that he looks like, that he looks at when he watches porn, that girl with that build is giving him the energy. She's trying to go. So he's going to take her down just because it's his fantasy and he can. What Trevor's saying too is that women have put your duties aside when you guys cheat. You guys stop taking care of the house, stop being peaceful in the home. A dude who can be fucking 10 different bitches and go home and still provide for his wife, still support her, still get her gas, still wash her car, still put the groceries up, still do all the protect, provides, and man shit. And the only thing that's going to affect that home is the limited amount of time that he's out fucking somebody else. That woman will be at home fucking somebody else and then still be fucking up the whole feng shui of that house because of her emotional state. Because the whole time, you know, she mad at this nigga because she blames him for the fact that she even has to cheat, which a lot of your argument supports.
All right, let me go ahead and get Shrew in there. I know you haven't said anything. Well, I'm sitting there listening to Willie, man, and he's saying that when men level up, not all, but they have some bigger desires.
I don't think it's just men. I think it's women also when it comes to that. But the example that women typically don't have an issue with men, but an example that I would give, and this is, I know several of these situations are women who have traditionally been bigger and seen as unattractive. Once they actually lose that weight and they are in that new body, they behave as a traditional man would once has new money, because they've been starved for that attention of those particular guys that they want. So maybe not in general, but I know like women who essentially lived the life of a man, because they was just wanted things that they couldn't have. They from my anecdotal experience, they go take that body for a test drive.
That experience is going to be the same amongst all men. The only people who are not going to be honest about it are the women it applies to. As soon as the woman used to be 300 pounds, shaped like a Mucinex monster, and then the next day she had all this surgery and shit, now she's shaped like Ty, or one of these other people on the panel who don't, look like something, she's going to go get bent over a balcony because she has more attention from niggas that want to. And then two, she's like, oh shit, I got this new body. It's almost like a dude, if you could possess like a basketball player, like a short nigga goes and possesses a LeBron James, he is going to go out there and start trying to dunk from the free throw line because he could never do it before. It's the same thing. I don't even blame them. The girls, when they lose more than 50 pounds, they blame it on getting out of a relationship. Then they become a gym influencer. And then the ones that had really good doctors become OnlyFans models. So you're not wrong, but that doesn't take the onus off, or that doesn't change the fact that women do cheat a lot. Like I think women are quicker to cheat than men are.
All right, let's get True in there. I know Pretty wanted to respond. Go ahead, True.
No, it was great dialogue. I didn't mean to. It was just when Ty said what she said, I was like, wait, this is something I'm always gonna struggle with. I'll tell you why. Right? I'm gonna create the situation to where most women are fairly attractive. This is just my narrative, and I really don't think women understand this. I've never met a woman who hasn't dated a dude she wanted. I've never met one. They always have the monopoly on opportunity. That's why when we explain it the way we explain it, it's not understood because, like you said, Ty, you're looking at it from your perspective from a woman. Penis, men have always been accessible to you. So it becomes mundane. I think the assumption is that women think that that's most men's life, and that's not most men's life. It don't matter if he's handsome. It don't matter if he's tall. There's variables. But that range that you guys get by default is an earned range, right? So I don't feel bad when men, in a sense, exercise their options. I think they need to be honest about it. I do, however, find it I take it personal when women think that now that you've decided to accept the invitation to be in a relationship, you have access to throw your box around all these years, and then you mad that you chose because you're not going to get with a dude that you don't like. I've never met a woman who's done it. So in every equation in your life as a young lady, you are always on the heavy. You're always in a position where it benefits you the most. Then when somehow, some way, an opportunity comes to where he now dethrones your privilege for a moment, you mad. It don't make sense to me. I'm saying in the sense of him cheating on you. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying in that moment, you said, well, I wouldn't feel safe. I feel disrespected. But your most of your life, a young adult life, you have the option to get access to a multitude of men. And if we were looking at it from a place of fairness, it's not fair, right? Just like I would love to hear your feedback because your face is doing all kinds of things right now. Talk to me, Ty. Talk to me.
Let me.
Let her respond.
Okay. Let's say I can agree with you. Maybe men don't have as many options as we do. Okay, right. But if you decide as a man that you want to be in a relationship with me, because I can't be in a relationship by myself, we have to decide that we're going to do that and be in a relationship together. Then you also have to decide that those other options are no longer an option. I am your only option. And if you want to continue to play the field, because now you're at the place where you can play the field, then play the field. Be single. and play as much as you want to. I don't think it's a question of fairness, because I don't think there's any such thing as fairness between men and women. Women are born with more options, right? If you're attractive, you're going to have a way bigger pool than guys. And then, you know, men tend to have a bigger pool as they get older. Women's pool shrinks as we get older. That's just how it is. It's not going to be fair. And what you had as options is not my concern now that we're in a relationship together. If that's the mindset, then don't choose to be in the relationship. It's just that simple. It doesn't have to be now. I can't be mad that you cheated on me. I can. You cheated on me after you committed to me. Why would you commit if you're not ready for commitment?
See, I never said it. You couldn't be mad. So let's take it back to what I said moments ago. You have the option. Going back to what you said, as a woman, you have options with an X. That's plural, right? You also have the ability to minimize his range, and y'all don't choose that, generally speaking. This is why I said most women don't date men they don't like.
Right.
They're not approaching a relationship, and it's not about fairness. They're not doing it in good faith. In the mindset of most women, every option that I'm a part of, I win. At the start of it, in the middle of it, and even when it ends. And we're saying as men, that's not life for most men, period. Not even in a relationship, just period. There's an exchange in the ecosystem of life that you win when you earn winning. And so it's interesting that it changes when we do acquire a woman in the moment, because Willie painted it perfectly. There may be moments where you are the best option, but something about a relationship magnifies a man's reach. Don't know why that happens, because y'all don't like single men, because there's a whole bunch of them. But the minute a man actually gets a woman, it's almost like a beacon goes out to other women of, oh, damn, he's a good option. Going back to, again, you can pick the guy who works at the Home Depots, the Taco Bells, the Chick-fil-A's, and for whatever freaking reason, he doesn't do it for you. That dude, you probably wouldn't have to worry about. But you want the best of both worlds. You want to go from having all the options, then saying, okay, well, you committed to me. Oh, I'm special. Then getting this dude and now cuffing his range if he decides to now explore his actual ability to exercise options. And again, I didn't say it's right. I think that there needs to be an understanding of what really occurs in the exchange that is man and woman in that dynamic. And I'll end.
Go ahead, Pretty.
I don't. Okay. So I'm not sure if you either didn't grasp what she said at all or just like kind of just skirted right over it, but that was all very confusing. So I'm just gonna kind of go back to my previous point. In like, big back men act different when they lose weight too. When men unbig their big backs, their large, enormous backs, they also act different. When y'all unchin your chin, when you go from 3 to 1 chin, y'all also act different. When you guys lose the gut and get a little bit of some abs, even there's a little bit of flab there, y'all act different. When y'all get a little bit of a thigh gap and some muscle on the tone instead of just the chafing that continues to happen for like the first 25 years of your lives, you guys act different too. So when anybody unbig their back, they tend to act different. Why? Because maybe they feel good that they accomplished something. They feel disciplined. I don't know why we're acting like big back men isn't a thing. I don't know why we're acting like people don't exchange one thing for the other, right? So because when we talk about like beauty standards, it does affect multiple people, right? Men and women. So when men are big backed, they tend to try to atone for that with money. When, you know, a woman feels like she does not feel fit the beauty standard, she then tries to atone for it with personality and cooking, whatever it may be, right? Like being nice, being sweet, placating to men's egos, actually self-deprecating. Oftentimes, there's a lot of big girls I know that self-deprecate. They will talk about themselves being big backs to make people feel better about verbally abusing them. It happens all the time. So for me, when we talk about this whole big back BS and we try to act like in any way it's the same as a man having money and a woman unbigging her back, that's BS, because everybody feels different when they unbig their back, even y'all. And the stretch marks that somebody said in the comments, y'all got it too. Y'all got it all over here, all right here, all in the butt crack, on the butt, on the thighs. Like y'all have it all over. Okay. You think we don't see it? It's not cute either way. So let's go ahead and just stop with the body shaming one-sided, because it can go both ways. I don't like when y'all do that.
Well, at least the reason that I mentioned that is because to level the playing field. So there aren't many situations where women aren't sought after. Where there are just in general, like men in general just aren't sought after by women, because that's, for one, that's not what you do. But the only thing that could level it was, let's use a big woman. And honestly, somebody in the comments said big women still get men. And some of them do, right? Which is why it's not even fully. I had to say some big women, not even all of them, because a lot of them do. Men still choose big women. However, it's a lot more rare for like the fat sloppy guy at GameStop behind the register for anyone to come in and say something to him, right? It's a difference there.
Why'd you add sloppy to it?
The same way you sensationalize the stretch marks and the chafing
I
and
didn't say sloppy.
and the chafing and the stretch marks and you did a lot. I did a little, so but
No, I'm just saying, like, when I said the same things for both, right? Like, so what I'm saying is that I don't like the idea that we think this whole lose weight at different thing is only for one. When people in general adjust their lifestyle, especially from a food intake perspective, that's a very hard thing to do. Food's an addiction, right? Food is a true addiction. So when people are able to overcome that, a lot of people feel good about themselves. A lot of people feel different. A lot of people feel like they accomplished something. This is not a gendered thing. But when y'all try to make it gendered, and it's weird when it's especially coming from a large man, like it's weird that like we try to act like this is something that anybody wouldn't be proud of when they when they are able to change their lifestyle. Like I just think that's odd.
It's fine. It's interesting how you're trying to frame it as, oh, these people are proud of what they're done. No, they look better and they have more access, so they fucking off. You look better, you got more options. You get some pussy, because you can get pussy now, and now you can get dick now. So you go and get some dick.
What?
That's that simple. It's not. Oh, they're so proud of what they're doing. No.
Or to your argument, she can get the dick she wants because she probably already could get dick, big or not. Right? Because everybody on 600-pound life got a husband.
Niggas will fuck
everybody,
anything.
All the women on my 600-pound life are
married. That is true.
Really?
So, niggas will fuck anything.
Spot on. Get the ones that they want once they actually lose.
Exactly. They got somebody, but
these niggas out here marrying and giving anybody a baby. So no argument there. But true, we want something you said I didn't agree with, which is rare. And you said that most women don't date or marry a man they don't like. I think you left out most attractive women. The average looking women, they have to. They don't have, oftentimes, they have to because they don't have a choice. So they tend to think, a lot of times they'll think they're better than they are. And then strive for, vie for, a trade, like you, a Trevor, you, a Mont, vie for y'all, but end up with OTC robo type nigga, because that's the best they can do. Like they everybody wants a Ferrari, but once motherfuckers get the access to it, they can't afford it. It's the same thing with them. So I don't think the majority of women are with men they want, because the majority of women aren't attractive. The majority of women don't have more options than the attractive men do. So I don't want to say that just because a woman, she's dating somebody, she wants them, she's good enough for them, because that's why, a lot of women really settle down, after trying to date up.
You see,
I agree with Willie on that one. That's crazy.
Really?
I think even attractive women do it. Even attractive women will settle.
Yeah, I won't say that either, just to be clear. But I'm saying on average, attractive women have better chances of finding a man they genuinely want and desire than the less attractive ones do. Okay. I mean, you just look, you've seen it on, look at just some of the celebrities that was coming up when we were younger, like they were popular back then. Look at who they dated since then, and look at how they're all old, single, and alone now, talking about they wish they had a man. Those women were the most attractive women ever. When we were coming up, you couldn't tell them shit. You couldn't tell us nothing. We thought they were all the baddest wick chicks on TV and in movies. But look at them all now.
They want to put this question to the panel.
Yo, real quick before we get too far, Pretty said something earlier. I just wanted her to clarify it. About she said that there has to be disrespect before cheating. I wanted her to clarify that, and I wanted to know if everybody else agreed with that.
I can expound. Whenever cheating happens, like, it doesn't just come, like, in my opinion, I consider cheating to be a form of emotional abuse. And so before you get to certain levels of abuse, there's initial types of abuse. There's negging, there's the putting down. You don't look the way you used to. You don't do what you used to. Oh, this is what I can get. This is what I think I'm deserving of. Whatever that may be. Oh, whoever makes this much money, they can do this for me. Like, there's going to be something else that is causing you to second guess your place and your position in their life. And that is a form of disrespect, especially as a partner, because, you know, he's not even listening. So, because I think that, like, when you are in a relationship with somebody, you probably shouldn't be comparing them to anybody else. You probably should be having a conversation with that person about what you miss about them, and, you know, maybe what's missing in the dialogue. But oftentimes, whenever somebody has their eye on the outside, whenever somebody else has their eye on the outside, then what that typically means is that they're already thinking about it. So before physical cheating happens, emotional cheating happens, disrespect happens, insecurity happens, all of that happens.
Okay. Well, I guess so from Trev's perspective, I think that makes sense, right? Where he says that men are cheating for specific reasons. From my perspective, it's untrue, because from where I come from.
Oh, well, you said it, you cheat, period.
Yeah, like, no, I didn't say that I cheat. I didn't say that. But I said from where I come from, like, the culture is like, God treat you like the best thing smoking. He's still gonna fuck something, you know? So, you know, I don't think it's necessarily like you're being disrespected in different ways. You can think that y'all have a great relationship and then just find out, like, you cheated on me.
Where do you come from?
I come from Philly. I come from, you know,
ladies
city.
never go there. That's the dark lands where the sun does not shine.
Yeah, but so I didn't mean specifically Philly. I just meant the inner city, at least the inner city Black culture that I come from, which is in different places.
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, and it's the same, right? Growing up, that's just what, to a certain degree, right? It almost becomes so much of a cultural norm that women are made to believe we just have to deal with it. Like, men are just gonna cheat. It's just in their nature. It doesn't matter. He can be ugly. He can be fine. He can be in between. He cheating, right? That's just what you end up dealing with. So I agree with him on that one. And you don't have to have any cues beforehand. You don't have to be doing anything wrong. He just does it because he wants to.
Ugly niggas cheating is wild.
It happens though.
Yep.
Listen,
and that it's always like,
I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that at all. I'm just saying that when I see it or when I think about it, there's certain niggas that I look at and I'm like, bro, you should probably not.
You should probably not, but they do. You know?
No argument. No
All right,
argument.
let me go ahead and present this next question. Is commitment a risk or a responsibility? Is commitment a risk or responsibility?
Both.
Like, I agree with Willie. It's both.
I look at some of the women that say they're married and have children and wonder, like, what the risk tolerance level that man has and why he didn't love himself, or like what value he has to place on himself to what he would marry that woman. And then I've seen men that I've gotten to know, like, outside of a surface level. And I'm like, bro, how do you have so many bitches? Like, it just doesn't. And I'm not talking about like the regular smuggler chicks. Like, he got like women that niggas really want. And it just doesn't make sense to me. But then, so when I leave with curiosity a lot of in real life, and just like, hey, I ask, and he's like, man, shit, I dog these hoes, and women like men that are dogs. Or I see the girl, like, what made you marry him? And she being real, she's like, he just came at the right time. Like, so, and that tells me that, again, a lot of women are settling. I can't commit to someone that I feel is a risk. If I feel you're a risk, the fact that, one, you have to earn my commitment because of everything that comes with it. So I'm not in the position where I'm in the inferior position as far as leverage goes. So before I can just be like, hey, I'll commit to you, I have to do a risk assessment on you. Like, I look at your character, all those other things. But then for my internal piece, like, am I attracted to you enough to where at this phase, because this is probably the last phase of my life, I don't think there's much more evolving that I can become as a man. So in this phase of my life, do you fit what I'm looking for? Because if you don't, then I understand that, again, being in a position that I've earned where I can be ultra hypergamous, I know that that'll happen. Like, I'm very, very transparent about it. I left my ex-wife for somebody else. No issue with it. That's because I wasn't going to cheat. That's how then, we got back together later. So I don't have an issue, doing it. But at the same time, I don't ever want someone to think like, oh, okay, well, yeah, just committing to somebody is easy, y'all, whatever. That's the craziest shit in the world. I don't think those two things are like even opposites in this particular situation.
All right, that's our tie hands first, and then Pretty, whichever one.
I'm gonna ask one question because Pretty had a hand up first. So Willie, I just want to deep dive a little bit more if you want to expound.
Go ahead.
You left your ex-wife for somebody else because you felt like that was a level up, and you didn't want to.
No, not because it was level up. Because my ex-wife was giving me she just wasn't doing what I needed her to do, and so when I say I left her, I filed for divorce and left,
right.
And then
y'all got back together later.
Yeah.
Y'all still together now?
Fuck no. Yeah, I filed for divorce twice.
Okay. So you say you go through a risk assessment. What does that process look like for you? Only speaking because you went through this risk assessment twice, right? After
that's the problem. I didn't go through it the first time. The first time I got with it, she was bad. We got along. She didn't have kids, and we just clicked then because of where I was. So It just worked. And then two, we were both in the military. So, different branches, but we were in. So It just worked then. But then as we got together, we grew apart. I identified the fact that we were growing apart with the counseling, all of that cool shit. And then there were just certain things that I needed that I didn't need when we got together, but I did need then that I wanted from her, and same thing for her that I wasn't willing to give her because I didn't feel like it was a good investment. So I chose to end the marriage and leave. So, and a lot of people think when I say I left her for somebody else, it's that I cheated and left. No, like I left, like legally left, and then came back. But the risk assessment that I performed the second time, which is when I realized that I hadn't done it the second time, is why I left again. Because like I'm still not getting everything that I need. I'm still not getting the big things. She's doing some of the other stuff, right? But then there was some other stuff, like you've heard the story, like Marcus, you heard it. So like there's other things that happened. I was just like, yeah, this ain't it. And
that's the same woman?
Fuck no. But we've talked about this. No, hell no. So but the thing is, like now when I realized I didn't do it, that was 6-7 years ago. Since now, like where I am now, I looked at her like, okay, cool, risk assessment. Is she gonna be a bill? Is she gonna be a burden? Is her past going to be an issue? That's a huge thing for me. Like Dallas is a very small city, regardless how big it really is. And you would be surprised at how many of your homeboys have hit so many women in Dallas. So has she fucked any of my friends? I went through all of these things and got to that part before we could even start dating. And then before I committed to her, it was, can I see her being a mother to my children? Can I see myself investing in her long term? Can I see myself wanting more for her than she wanted for herself? Can I see myself being completely loyal to her, physically, emotionally, mentally, all the leaves? Once I said yes, then I committed. But that was a conversation that we had. It's just that there was a lot of growth between now and then the 7 years from now when I was 35.
Hold on, White. Make it Pretty in there, then I come to you. Go ahead, Pretty.
Wow. I'm so glad I was here tonight. So to answer this question, all the shots I've heard Willie take on Black feminists and how can anyone be married maybe his marriages would have worked out if he would have focused on himself and what other men are choosing. Because what's funny to me is that he seems more concerned about the men who are married to Black feminists and not about his twice divorce large behind. And so, like, for me, honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm so happy I was here today, y'all. Thank you for the invite, Lapeef, because this has now been the third or fourth time I've been on a panel with Willie, and he's been hostile every single time. Very hostile. I was wondering, like, what is the deal? Other than the obesity, what is the problem? Like, what is causing him to be so upset? And I realized that, like, you could not manage to vet, not once, but twice, the same woman. So when you're saying, hey, we can't cheat, find a man who can't cheat, you were the man who couldn't cheat. You were the man who had to go back to the same woman twice because you didn't have options, right? And then when you went back to the same woman twice, it didn't work twice. And somehow you have men listening to you as if you were an expert on how to vet. You're sitting here talking about being in Philly and knowing her body count and who she slept with. And I made sure I did, and it still didn't work. So for me, I do think it is quite interesting that how you started off your answer to this question was, I often wonder why these women are married or how these men are married to these types of women. Because they can and you couldn't. That's the answer. Because they could get them and you can't. That's the answer, right? How are they doing it? Because they can and you can't. I am so happy I was here tonight. Thank y'all.
Okay. What were you about to ask, Ty?
I think Mike's about to go. Go ahead, Mike.
I was about to go, but I think Willie can respond to that, and then I'll jump in after y'all finish this conversation.
I don't think he's gonna respond. I think he.
Yeah, there's nothing
okay
to respond to. One, look at who said it, and there's enough. Like I'm not. Y'all haven't noticed that she says I'm hostile because every time she says something stupid, I call her out. I pointed out that she's retarded, all that stuff. That's not me being hostile. It's just me pointing out a fact. It's not that if any of you disagree with me, the comments typically agree with me, aside from the other hyena bitches. So there's nothing to respond for. If that's what she took from what I said, that is her right. I can't explain it to her, but I can't understand it for her. So go ahead, and White.
Shit, my camera tweaking. Damn.
3D print that motherfucker.
I do need the 3D printer.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, I just might not be able to hear me. I was gonna ask you something, but that y'all interaction threw me off. Yeah, what exactly was the question? Look at that shit.
The question was,
I was about to have nothing to say because y'all was about to.
Yeah, we can get some other folks in there too. Is commitment a risk or a responsibility?
Yeah. So it's definitely a responsibility, and it's risky as hell, especially for women to trust us men under 25. And it's a risk for a very rich nigga too, like, or a man that has a lot of options, because you almost setting yourself up for failure unless you're like Willie was saying earlier, in the space where you can say to yourself, I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do this. I'm not, like, if you're not putting yourself in a position where you can mentally like see the path forward, where you won't do the things that are causing the destruction of the families and the breakdown of these women in ways in which they'll lead you. Yeah, it's a huge risk to go in there not knowing 100% that you're capable of doing that. And a lot of times, men, because of the expectation that women have of monogamy, a lot of niggas agree to monogamy and don't really have no intention of doing that shit. They just agreeing because they like, all right, we got to be monogamous, so fuck it. I'm just going. I mean, I can't go in here and say I want to have hoes. So what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't just say the shit that I actually want to do. So I'm just gonna say, yeah, we gonna be monogamous. I don't got no hoes, and then I go to the club, and the hoes that I want be on me. Shit, I hope I don't see nobody I know, and then try and go do what I want to do, and hope I don't get caught. And then when you get caught, be like, shit, it'll never happen again. But really, you thinking, damn, I'm mad I got caught because I just didn't want to get caught. Like, it wasn't really no other logic to that shit other than that. You still love her in your mind, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a risk. It's risky. Get to a point in life where you can say no and be willing to be faithful and be honest with people. But that whole thought process I just went through, that was a process before when I got caught cheating when I was younger. I was just like, man, shit. I wasn't really, I didn't even understand the concept of why it was wrong to have cheated. I was more so salty that I had to have a conversation about getting caught cheating to keep it a sleeve. That was my, like, damn, man, she about to. Should I break up with it? Like, I was even contemplating, do I love her enough to deal with all the bullshit behind me getting caught cheating? I was gonna break up with her for me cheating. Like, I don't know. You be going through some bullshit when you really like.
That's a mercy kill, bro.
Yeah, like I'm just being 100% honest. I don't even know what to say because it's a risk. It's a risk trying to do something that you just agreeing to. And that's not really what you want, but a society has an expectation for you to be that way. And it's really, really hard for well, in the past, I think honesty is opening up with other alternative types of relationships and other relationship structures and people having different type of arrangements. Honesty opening up now. So people might not be cheaters like they was in the past. But there was a time where you were expected to just pretend like you was going to want to be in a relationship. And 95% of men was going to pretend like they wanted to, and or you could try and get a situationship. But if you really liked it, you pretend. It just is what it is. It's not me making nothing up. I don't know if everybody gonna admit it, but there was a very long time where that shit was very valid. But all right,
Marcus, do you think that would be like a form of selfishness on man's
absolutely,
part?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Fuck yeah,
very absolutely.
What?
So in your specific situation, is it?
I remember I was young too.
For women or men to get into relationships.
You say is it what?
From just what you just explained, from that perspective, is it more risky for a woman or a man to get into a relationship?
Honestly, it's probably more risky for a woman not to get in a relationship.
Why is it more risky for us not to get in a relationship?
Because y'all benefit from it more than men.
Don't get cheated on. From your situation, right? From what you're explaining.
All right,
9 times out of 10, he gonna cheat on you because he really don't want to be.
Ty, I think he's highlighting the problem that True talked to you about earlier, right? True is basically saying that you have 1,000 options, we have 3, right? And you chose the 6'7" basketball player who goes to UConn, right? And now you're telling us, well, Marcus, well, why are you that shellfish? And you know, like, but it's like. You chose the 6'7" guy that every other woman in the proximity is enamored by.
Why y'all assuming that I'm choosing the 6'7" guy who goes? So what if he's 5'8" and works?
Well, Marcus is 6'7"
and works at Walmart.
You talk about women.
I'm talking about whoever was with Marcus.
No, I'm not talking about me specifically. I'm saying you're as if I'm speaking from a perspective where a woman is picking this.
Because that nigga is 6'. He's not tall.
Wants.
That's he's talking about
Marcus because he's tall. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Marcus specifically.
How tall are you?
It's not.
I'm 6'4".
It's not just the height. I think I'm like, okay, you use the stacking of it. The 6'7" is drastic. He could be 5'9", he could be 5'10", but to her, he aligns with the attraction level she needs. And that's what I'm speaking to. I'm not saying that women shouldn't go after whom they're attracted to, but they don't seem to pick guys based on lack of appeal. It's almost like you show a woman a shack, like a house that could be built, she probably ain't gonna see the beauty in that. But if you show her a key, what do they call it, like a turnkey? Oh yeah, and that's what we're saying. When y'all pick men like that. It's like you typically know, okay, he got you. Well, if you feel the way you feel, right? And typically girls don't date singularly. They show pictures or IGs and they get the approval of the committee. The committee be like, you know, girl, he cute. What the heck ever. That's all she needs. She's gas. She's going. We're saying go get the guy that when you show the picture, they're like, what you doing, girl? You okay? Did you fall? Did your head hurt? Y'all don't do that. You want the guy who got the curb appeal. And then you're mad that he goes and gets, pursued. It don't make sense. It's not the 6'7", it's not the 6'8". Go ahead, Ty.
I hear you, but from your perspective, the women always have the curve appeal. So why are you mad if she steps out?
Because men and women aren't the same.
Okay. There we go. That's an honest response, Willie. I agree.
Well, I'm just saying, sexually speaking. For example, if you found out that your son having kids by multiple women, it's bad. It's bad. Your daughter having kids by multiple niggas is worse, because that's 3 separate women that set her down for a year of her life. So the time investment is more. That nigga could have fucked 3 girls in 10 minutes total, got them pregnant, and now
also her body could be drastically different from those men.
Yeah, so I wasn't gonna do the body part because everybody know what I can't talk about
and stuff. Because C-sections and all that type of stuff, like it can really change your body.
I don't have any room to speak on talking about the change one's body goes through, because you seen what happened to my son's mother. So she gained a lot of weight. So yeah, we're not the same. It's drastically different. When y'all cheat, I will give y'all this in general. When y'all cheat, y'all typically cheat to replace. The nigga y'all cheat with, y'all typically ride off in the sunset with. Trev or M. White will go cheat with a bitch that's in the club, hit her in the car. He's a good nigga, so he gonna stop. I'm saying, watch the condom smell off his dick before he go home. Go back in the house and then forgot that, oh shit, I'm about to fill up my wife's car. Grab her car and go get the gas and come back in it like nothing happened. Like the performance fall off of the duties that we have is significantly steeper for you guys than it is us. Because for us, some men fucking just like taking a piss. You know what? I'm tired of beating my dick this week. It's a bitch that told me she'll give me some pussy. My old lady gone and she busy. She got something going, or you bleeding, or whatever. It's a murder scene down there. I'm gonna go hit this new chick just because she knew. Don't mean nothing. Just put a condom on, give her 30 minutes of my time, and come back to the house. Y'all aren't doing that. It takes a lot, unless you're a whore. Now, if the whores will disagree, but I assume that you're a good woman. It would take a lot for a nigga to be able to get next to you to even get the opportunity to be someone you cheat with. Like a hoe just gonna fuck a nigga because she got a vagina, he got a dick. But for an average good woman, it's harder for y'all to cheat than it is for a man, because you guys cheat with intent. We cheat to get to an end point. We just like, hey, I just want to bust a nut.
But see, you just proved, Willie, like you said earlier, you disagree with me, and that's fine. But from your explanation, that's why I built the premise of women only deal with whom they want to deal with. They're not, in my opinion, they're not settling. I just don't know women to settle. They may say they're settling from the standpoint that they're going to take a guy who's at the highest peak of attraction, maybe like an Idris Elba or something that they know without a shadow of a doubt, or a Chris Brown, they'll never get. And that's just hyperbolic, right? But most girls, even just regular chicks, are not dealing with just any dude. Like, even in your explanation of them cheating, if they gonna even cheat, they gonna cheat up. And that's why I say they don't settle, in my opinion. If that dude was able to convince her to be in a relationship, she likes him, like something about him, and is willing to be seen with him, claim him, have him claim her. That, that's not how we usually rock. Like, most dudes that's with a girl, he likes her, loves her, but there's something about her that he can't stand, and he more than likely is settling to some degree, whatever it may be, because if there's disparity, it's just the exchange.
So I got two things about that.
Trey, I agree with you, True, on that part, but I was talking about as far as who they get in relationships with, not who they cheat with. So I think that they're a lot more likely to settle with who they get into a relationship with than they are to who they cheat with. Their standards are going to be a lot higher, because why would women are, if nothing else, efficient. They're and saying they're lazy when it comes to being creative. Why would a woman cheat with a nigga who's doing worse, who is less than, and not the nigga that she's already with, unless he's giving her more than what she's already getting? A woman's not gonna go cheat to get less from a nigga. She's gonna go get better dick, more resources, more fun, more something like that. A dude, for us, our standards are a little different. We'll go cheat with a bitch just because she's convenient, not because she's replacing our woman, like just because the pussy was there. So that's that's the difference that I say. But for what Ty is talking about, I mean, again, the nigga is not convincing her to be in a relationship. The nigga is convincing her to fuck. She just has to see the possibility of a relationship with him after that. All that nigga has to do for that to just be all those things you just said, like all the polarized and curb appeal things. And then if he's given her type of time, he catch her at the right moment, her and the nigga done fell off, it had a bad fight, he finally called her a bitch, or she done went through his phone and found some flirty text messages, she will use that to justify her fucking this next nigga. The problem after that is, though, she plans on leaving. A dude who goes and fucks that bitch for convenience, he's just coming back. He's going to the grocery store, coming back to the house.
Go ahead, Pretty.
Which, once again, I think proves the point that women are just simply more decisive. But I'm going to say this, like, I do think it's interesting that we're now saying women have all these options. When in every other conversation, we're speaking about women hitting the wall, we're speaking about women having to decide early, we're speaking about women being undesirable. Like, once again, as I keep saying, the contradictions, in my opinion, are glaring in a lot of these talking points. Who can cheat versus who does cheat. Fundamentally, cheating is a character flaw. Cheating is a character flaw. It's nothing about what a person does. It's nothing about how they're not performing. Cheating is a character flaw. I actually think cheating is cowardly. You're unable to verbally communicate what you desire and to make a decision based off of it. So, for example, if you're unhappy, you're unable to say, hey, you know what? I'm unhappy. I'm walking away. That's cowardly. So you decide to just hop, skip, and jump to jump in somebody else's bed and to do some nonsense. It's cowardly. It's weak. You could just stand up for yourself. You'd feel much better advocating for yourself. You'd feel much better saying, I'm not getting what I deserve in this relationship. I'm walking away because I have one life to live, and I'm going to make sure I get what I deserve in this life. That's what would be courageous. But we're sitting here trying to talk, who cheats more, and when this and this, and we're going to do that, period. No, all this nonsense. No, truly, you cheat because you're a coward, you're weak. Right? Like that, and that's all that it is. But go ahead.
No, yeah, real quick. So I agree with you that it was cowardly because, like, as an older man, I would tell a younger man, like, bro, just tell her the truth. Just say it. But the part where I disagree, because the way you framing it was that it was because you weren't. Well, it might be for another conversation, but it's not because you're not getting enough or something wrong with it. Literally had zero to do with her at all, ever, to keep it asleep for the most part. So to Willie's point about how men are just wired differently, it literally was like just going to the grocery store, or my homie had a 2-man and he called me and I just felt like I owed him more, so fucking I'm gonna come outside.
That's how a lot of niggas get.
So I think that goes back to
on the 2-man, yeah, the 2-man.
Well, hold on. That goes back to the point when I said.
You know how many times I've heard that story before?
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Still talking, Willie.
Like somebody got called for a 2-man. That is crazy.
That is a character flaw. Like that goes back to my point when I'm saying it is a character flaw. So yes, I expounded in a different way, but the fact of the matter is that it is still a character flaw. What you and M. White and what you and Mont are speaking to, these are character flaws. This is not natural. These are ways that y'all are socialized to disregard commitments. Why a lot of those same men who will talk about cheating this way, y'all can't hold a job. Y'all can't hold a job. Y'all cannot show up on time to work. Y'all keep getting fired. You got 11, 12, 13, 14 jobs. And that's why a lot of people become podcasters. Like, it's when we're sitting here, like, these same character flaws, they exist in other sectors of life. Your credit's bad, right? You eat garbage most of the time. Like, oftentimes these character flaws, lack of discipline, exist in other sectors of life as well. And that's why I'm saying it is a flaw. Like, if you lack discipline, if you lack commitment, oftentimes it's not just showing up in one area. It's going to show up somewhere else where you're going to be an addict of some sort, whatever that may look like. It is going to show up. I'm not saying all. I'm not going to say you're all across going to be a POS. No, it is going to show up somewhere else that you have a character flaw.
You think discipline is more natural than
Hold. All right, so I truly disagree with the premise of why women cheat. Former scumbag, by the way, so I can tell you for sure, women cheat for sex plenty of times, right? And for anything. We can't just say that women are going to be selective about who they cheat with. A lot of times it's that 20%. That 20% is all it takes. If a dude knew how to beat you in the head, that dude could have all the bread. He could be doing everything right except for one thing. Maybe he got a flaccid homeboy. Well, guess what? You're gonna get cheated on. Whether she's bored with you for whatever reason, you get cheated on. I know plenty of dudes who only deal with married women. Why? Because the barrier to entry is extremely low. There's very little that they have to do. All they have to do is the one thing that the other guy is not doing, and the women will give him access. So I think we're pushing out a pretty bad narrative by not recognizing, and we're frankly giving women too much credit for what it is that they are capable of and what they'll do. Because I've seen the other side. I know the darker side of women, and I have a lot of women friends who have no vested interest in keeping things from me. So, nah, y'all can't get that off. We know, a lot of us know, right? The people who do it, they know that women will be out here just like dudes will sometimes. So it doesn't take much at all.
Go ahead, Pearl.
Gosh. So my take on this is that I feel like a relationship is a responsibility, period. I feel like most of us are not in relationships. We're in unhealthy attachments, and there's a difference. The space was created centered around a lack of the foundation and the tenets that you all are seeking as being in a relationship. So there has to be a lack of communication, self-awareness, empathy, emotional intelligence, quite frankly, serenity. Like, we can keep going in circles around this. This is the obvious. I think a lot of transparency and consistency is what makes a healthy relationship, as well as collaboration and cooperation. We could barely get this on a panel. So I couldn't imagine what personal life is like. And I'm not taking shots at anybody. It's just a matter of maturity. And again, self-awareness. A lot of this reckless behavior that's wrapped in this biological predisposition to sow your royal oats, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You have to learn how to control yourself and be disciplined. And you have to not just say this, oh, we're gonna vet. There's a process, and it should be, but it's not, because we have a culture of what we even accept as culture. Culture. Casual sex. It's really no thing or such thing as casual sex when you really elevate yourself and do vibes. If you're a really high vibrational person, you don't want certain people around you, let alone sharing your body and your existence with them. So a lot of you all talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. If you really wanted a healthy relationship, you would be responsible. You would carry yourself in that manner. You would respect that. And I guarantee you would get that, because that's the energy that you emit. And you wouldn't want anybody else around you that wouldn't be willing to submit. So, I mean, I get it. But to be honest, the other side of this conversation, outside of men just steady wanting to promote that they just feel like it's in their nature to cheat. And I'm not going to argue with you because I'm not a man. If that's true, right, then I think we need to have a real open and honest and brave conversation about poly, right? Because I also think on the other side of that too, there's just certain men that just, they don't want to cheat. Even if they do have options, even if the women are out there, even if that is what it is, they just don't want those women because they know it's a difference between quantifiable and qualitative. I can have one quality woman that stands by me instead of 100 dirty broads that I'm really putting myself inside of and risking myself and saying, hey, this is what makes me a man. It doesn't. You're reckless. It's immature. So like I say, we can keep going roundabouts. It's subjective, but if it's really not, it's objective. If you really wanted to be a responsible adult, you would move as such. So I'll land my plane up.
Why do you say dirty broads like that? Dirty broad.
Because it's always we want holes. It's not like you want a slew of quality women. It's like you always want those degenerate women, like the low-hanging fruits that are easy for you to get in excess. To be accessible to, because you don't want the hard work that you're already putting in to get that quality woman. Like, I guess you don't want more of those. just want some easy access. Like you were saying, I don't want it because I care about her and I don't care about my woman. She was just convenient. So that's why I say, like, if
you had a rent, do you take better care of your rental car or the car you actually pay for that you finance in your name? That's why men treat hoes like that. It's the same thing. Niggas want the low hanging fruit because they just want to bust a nut. Niggas not trying to go out here and start a whole new relationship to get some pussy. So when dudes are out here fucking these hoes,
that's the dirty broads, right? So
I don't know if niggas is out here fucking dirty bitches. That's different. That's nasty.
I guess we seeing dirty as.
I'm thinking about dirty like your coochie's right? dirty.
The ones that you refer to as convenient. We'll just say that the low hanging fruits. I'll just low hanging fruits. I'll land.
Go ahead, Bo. Hey, let's try to make sure we'll put the time up shortly, but I just want to make sure we kind of passing the mic around like 1 minute 50 seconds is checking in and out. We can always come back. No people
Don't
patiently.
Say that after I talk, JR.
Who want you?
No, I'm messing with you. I'm sorry.
It was Treya.
So I'm not sure why this is a discussion. I mostly hear men talk about how women cheat, and it sounds like men, and women talk about how men cheat, and it sounds like women. I think both are projecting on the same side, if I'm being honest. Because both of them do it. At what rate? It's of no consequence. If you do it, you do it. As a former cheater, it's really just
what?
It's really just a matter of feeling unsatisfied, and then that's something that you're trying to fulfill within yourself. Like you're trying to find outside validation because it's something that you're missing in yourself. And a lot of people just don't have discipline. Like I was chasing something that I didn't have in the person that I had. And it wasn't there. It wasn't about them. It was about me more than anything. And I think that if people can just admit that in discipline, I just didn't care. I was like, I like you, but not that much. And I like him, but not that much. So I'm gonna have both of y'all. So it's just one of them things. That was me in my 20s. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just admitting the admittables. But I think that we all do it at some level, and it doesn't matter at what level. It's all disrespectful. It is like for men, it's so easy to do and make an excuse for, and make an excuse to not have discipline for, because they can just like succumb to society's expectations of them, and that's spreading it around, giving it to anyone. And so they make it okay because society tells them that it is okay to do it. It's women that get the shame because society tells us that we are supposed to be chaste. And so I think that it takes a better man to not just get a nut and actually like respect his own body and give it to those who would like to give it to those women who have proven their worth to him. And it don't have to be a whole lot of work, don't get me wrong. But like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's my piece.
I wanted to say
oh, you got that's on my next, my bad.
I heard, one time I had thought about I don't know what made me think of it, but I was like, damn, like in our community, we can see a man, right? We can see a woman with a man who takes care of her, provides for her, protects her, and does all of these things that we think a man is supposed to do, right? But because we might see something inadequate in him, we might say that nigga don't know what to do with that. Like a girl got a fat ass, this nigga short, or like he just look like a dweeb. You like, yo, he don't know what to do with that, right? And I was like, dang, that's some immature thing. That's an immature thing, like us as a community to think. Like we see a girl with a white man, right? Like, yo, we don't know, man, he don't know what to do with that, right? But then I had got on social media, and I had saw so many videos of women just kind of agreeing with it. Like they talking about like, yeah, if a nigga dick ain't this big, I can't do it. Like, and if I can't, I'm like, damn. So like, are the men justified for thinking like, yo, I can fuck good? You don't need to be with him. Like, so I just wanted to, I just wanted to kind of bring that up.
All right. Pretty, you want to respond to what he said? Go ahead.
I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting that you didn't stop at the first part of what you said. Because the first part of what you said is valid, right? Why do men look at other men and discredit those men based on what they think that woman should require from a man? That should be where you stopped. Then you finished by saying, but then I see women co-signing. So then I think, I always wonder when y'all talk, are the women the leaders or are you guys the leaders, as you guys say? And every time you talk, you give me the inclination that you guys are confirming to me, which I know this, that women are the leaders. You're following our lead. When you see us do something, that's when you decide it's okay. When you see us co-sign something, that's when you decide it's valid. How about you stand on your own 10 and say, hey, it's not right that us as Black men, we continue to tear down other Black men in relationships because we think they don't deserve that women. Maybe y'all should just have that conversation amongst men at the barbershop when you're getting your lineups that's all the way in the back. Maybe y'all should like have that dialogue. Maybe you should say, maybe we should stop tearing down other Black men. Maybe we should stop speaking negatively on other Black men if we feel they're undeserving of that relationship. Maybe we shouldn't do that. But no, you look to women to, oh, the women are co-signing it, so it must be true. That means you're following us, babe. That means you're following us. You're quite literally following our lead. You're waiting on us to validate and confirm your feelings for you to move forward as a man. That's embarrassing a little bit.
So, what you heard was me at first determine a problem, right? Oh, I think, why do we think this immature way? And then you heard me, as I processed it, find you responsible for it, because you are, right? The same way that when women say, y'all like women who wear makeup, y'all like women with BBLs, y'all like all of these things, right? Because men are responsible for that. Because why are you liking their pictures? Why is it on your algorithm? We can say it's not our fault, but you're looking at it, you're clicking it, you're on it for 3 or 4 seconds. It's your fault, right? So when I say that, I came to the conclusion that women are co-signing this, just be an adult and take responsibility for it. If women are saying, I need your dick to be 6 feet 6 foot 6 inches, right? I mean, can the women on the panel do a 4-inch dick? Is that okay? Can we work with that? Is that your minimum, or can we go to 3?
It's the motion in the ocean. If you
can we go to 3? What's your minimum?
I don't have a minimum.
Okay.
I don't rate men based off of their penis size. That's crazy.
Very mature. Bo, you got a minimum?
It's insane.
Okay. We got some good ladies on the panel. Okay. I like y'all. Y'all are anomalies. And I think we should be mature and admit that. A lot of women, I don't know how much y'all have talked to women. I don't know how much y'all have talked to women, but do you find that women actually care about these things? Okay, that's all I'm saying. We can ignore it. We can act like, oh, Lamont, you're talking crazy. Women don't care about dick size, right? Where did I get that idea from, right? Like I must have heard that from the.
Yeah, you on demon time, ain't you?
You said what?
Oh, demon time.
Oh, my bad. I'm just saying, like, she's trying to make it look like I'm crazy, like I'm talking, like I'm gaslighting or something.
It's not me. I'm just want to make sure that's clear.
I had to do interference. I don't know where I was about to go next.
Man.
Go ahead, White. I know you've been trying to get in there, brother. Pause. You gotta watch Trev. I knew Trev was going.
Especially after what we were just talking about.
This nigga might say it's 4 inches of like, bro. You can't ask these women if they.
You think they lying? You think they fraud?
Hey, I'm not. Look. So look. All right. What was I gonna say? It was a whole lot of these things. So pretty election. I agree with your point initially about it being cowardice to not keep it a sleeve and tell the truth about all that stuff. I disagree with the other things, some of the other things, because I think the framework in which y'all view how we're making our decisions is completely different than the framework for which we're making the decisions in. And that's the part that, like, I be trying to get over and over and over again. Like, I wasn't blaming so I took accountability for saying I don't think it was because of the woman. The way that maybe it's socialization. No, you know what? I'll even go as far as to say it's absolutely socialization as to the framework for why, right? It's not the reason that y'all were saying. It was loyalty and discipline, but it was loyalty and discipline to my friends, my homies, and opposed to the actual relationship. Because we was raised to be like
homosocial.
bros over.
Yeah, homosocial.
I'm not using that word, but I'll describe what it was, and you can call it whatever you want. I don't got no homo nothing. I'm not even a homo sapien. I'm just a real nigga. So no, we was under the act that like, if my homies, like, because you know how brotherhood was at the time, especially for young men, and the type of neighborhood that I was raised in, we clicked up. So you damn near would catch a case and not say nothing and take it for your friend in the situation where you would have to put him in a position to get yourself out the jam. You just have to sit there and go through the case. If one of the guys needed you to go in a 2-man, you was just gonna go in a 2-man. It wasn't about not being loyal to the girl. It was about you kind of had a loyalty to your homies that kind of extended past the relationship with the girlfriend. And what I'm saying is, as I got older and that shit cost me a relationship, I reframed a whole lot of shit, right? A relationship that I actually cared about. And I reframed a whole lot of shit. But it also, here go a word y'all love, it was intersectional with the testosterone drop. Because I also think there's a huge biological aspect to this that we don't we kind of negate. And I think the reason it's negated is for a reason to equalize men and women and say, hey, we just need to have the same type of discipline as women. But it really is. I'm being 100% honest about all of this. It's complete. I've never been a woman, so I can't tell you exactly what a woman's entire thought process is. But when I hear y'all describe and talk about why you're doing certain things, that's completely different than the reason we're doing it. And men more consistently across the board, I've been able to go ahead.
Wait, did you take the ugly friend or the other friend on the 2-man?
I always took the better friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so really quick, yeah, what you were explaining is homosocial behavior, which I know a lot of you guys have. I could see even in these conversations how you guys kind of like when you find out like a man disagreed. Like actually, it happened just now. Like there was a point that Mont had disagreed with something. I think it was Trev that said, and he was like, "I slightly disagree with that." And Trev was like, "What?" And then Mont's like, "Only with this one little part." Like, and it was kind of like this moment of like, "Oh, how could you betray me?" And like honestly, like y'all do that a lot. Like it's like this bonding loyalty thing, right? Like that's where you feel a greater loyalty to another man than you do to a relationship, even if you literally stood before God and promised your life, forsaking all others, and betrothed yourself to that woman. You still will prioritize your male friendships over that person you committed your life to, right? And so like what you're explaining, MY, honestly is very normal. So I'm not meaning to crucify you. It's something that y'all do a lot. I see it happen, whether the man's married, single, young, old, it doesn't really matter. You kind of just have that thing, but then you guys will in turn turn around. And when you see women attempt to replicate it with the sisterhood, y'all turn around and just start attacking it because you don't want to see women have it, right? You want to see women at each other's necks while y'all build this partnership with each other, right? Like you don't want to see women kind of replicate that same thing. You'll turn around and you'll attack, oh, the sisterhood, that's the sisterhood. Like, and y'all will just crash out over the sisterhood while y'all have this weird brotherhood cult situation that like is sometimes inexplainable. So I agree with you. I think that
I just want to go on record pretty intellectual. I don't know if you ever heard me say this before, but I'm the person that said I love the hoes, but I don't got no issue with chopping the sisterhood, especially if when I was younger, it created a two-man. I'm not the nigga that dislike the hoes or care about the other shit y'all got. That's not my issue. I don't even care. Like, you know, the sisterhood to operate, to replicate what man was doing, so the replication of that would be women being sexually promiscuous, right? To some extent.
No,
okay, you're just talking about the relationship amongst yeah. Well, I was going to say I never said sisterhood before. You never heard that shit come out my mouth. I don't be talking about that shit.
True. Do you mind if I?
That was my joke.
Seconds?
I'm not judging.
Yeah, go ahead, Mont.
So the problem with what she just said is right. Like the sisterhood, like so. For example, I just obviously disagree with Trev. I disagree with a lot of the guys all the time. Right. The problem with the sisterhood is one day when we had you on, we was talking about SA on here. You refused to hold the sisterhood accountable. You
actually, I did. I very clearly
did. You didn't do it.
Very clearly said
no.
Thank you. I very clearly did. You're just mad because I didn't say it the exact same way because your situation was a lot worse.
Got you. No.
Okay.
See, I don't know if y'all remember. I remember. She's also cutting me off. It's cool though, because you have to. You have to cut me off because you won't get smoked. It's cool. Don't let me talk.
This is what happens.
Pretty, don't let me talk, Pretty.
This is what happens when somebody takes that 30 cents a day. You too can save a child on UNICEF commercial. We get motherfuckers like this. Like
this. And you ate all my food. What are we gonna do?
I was in America. I didn't have to. I needed there was no food for me to fight for. Like, it would have cost them $3 a day to feed me. But this is what happens when a little TikTok or a little token grows up, like the kids that you're saying all body, no head.
That's kind of crazy.
When they grow up, this is what we get.
You didn't need.
They come over here, they get in our schools, and then next thing you know, they start talking like they
fed the children.
Queen shit.
All right, Charles,
it's always the end.
You could have just fed the children. You didn't have to.
Okay, y'all. Let's go ahead and get True in there. Go ahead, True.
So I listened to everybody's points, and what I've gathered, and this again is my opinion, and I wanted to ask Ty something, but maybe I'll save that. I don't think women respect men's commitment, and I'll tell you why. I think I've seen this a lot, right? I think somehow, some way, this is my opinion again, in a woman's mind, it's expected. If you get with me, and I'm going off of what even Ty said earlier, if you get with me, if you commit to me, right? Therefore, in her mind, it comes with certain set of things, which I wouldn't say that you're totally off because yes, you know, relationships have components. However, what's interesting is that the moment we say that there are certain men that may explore options, that may violate trust, if you want to even use that term, then it's the snapback response of like, well, yeah, I don't feel safe. I feel hurt. And if you wanted to do that, then why didn't you just stay single? But what I don't often hear is the respect behind he was able to, which has been the premise of my argument this whole time. There is a myriad of men who, depending on that girl, would literally kill to have her. And for whatever reason, they don't get picked. But then you want to go over here to the league. Like you want to go to the MVPs of the men. You want to go to the men that could replace you, but choose you. And you don't respect that when he's actually committed and faithful. It's almost like this energy that I think women have, that their job is to minimize the man at every point they get. Like the idea of even getting around the fact, I think you said, Ty, and I'm not picking on you. Just a lot of the things you said, you know, resonated with me, right? I'm not picking on you, I promise. But it's like, well, if you're not giving her what she needs, you can't expect her to want to get freaky with you. But that only when you're with a guy that is like almost subject to that. That's where I'm operating from. I'm assuming you're with someone that at the highest level of desire, he had the ability to grab you, to get you. And he probably, if he can cheat, more than likely has the ability to expand past just your attention sexually. You don't even respect that crap. It's almost like, well, you got with me, so you know what it is. No, chick, that's not how that works. Like, I don't think women truly grasp when a man decides to be in a relationship, right? And he is able to exercise options. It is almost the highest level of sacrifice, in my opinion. And I don't hear women in mass respect that crap, nor even give him like kudos for it. It's expected. How dare you cheat on me? How dare you? Like, chick, you're one person. Like, I don't think you grasp it, and that's what I don't get. Go ahead, Ty. I want to know what you're thinking, because your face is just saying so much right now.
Because I don't get what you're saying. We should respect the moments that he was committed to us rather than focusing on the fact that he cheated. Is that what you're saying?
No, hold on.
I'm so confused. First of all, let me ask this, because you keep saying that you keep putting it as if only these upper echelon type of men cheat. It's not true. Most men that I have known in my life, big, small, tall, fat, in between, cheat. Okay, they're not upper echelon. They're not the best of the best. They don't got the best jobs. They don't make the best money. They still cheating. Okay, so it's not the expectation that we're getting these great, great men that everybody wants. You might think you're getting somebody and you was the only one. For instance, I'm going to use my personal experience. My first boyfriend, like real boyfriend in high school, was not that attractive. Most girls dogged him. And we were friends for a while before we started dating. And I'm like, yeah, why not date him? It wasn't that I was so attracted to him. I grew attraction to him over time because of our relationship. And it felt like, even though you're not the most attractive, we meet on these levels. I feel like I can trust you. I feel like I can be there for you. What happened? He still cheated. He still cheated on me. Now, we can say he was young, whatever, but the fact of the matter is, no, I'm not going to give you credit for the things that you should be doing in a relationship, which is being committed. If you really, in your heart of heart, don't feel that you want to be committed, you have all of these options now, and you're still trying to juggle which one is the best, don't commit to one person. Don't commit to anybody. Say you're still playing the field. Tell that woman, honestly, I like you, and I would like to keep you around, but I'm still going to be talking to other women. Keep it a buck. That's my thing. Keep it a buck. And if you do that, now you give me the choice. If I choose to stay, now I know what I'm playing with. Now I know what I'm dealing with. But don't sell me a dream that is just us and we're in a committed relationship. But now you still want to play the field because you can. And I should give you some type of credit for doing what you're supposed to do in a relationship, which is stay committed to the person you said you wanted to be with.
And I totally agree with you, which is why I use the premise going back to, like you said, the MVP, or, your anecdotal, he wasn't a part of the league. But that's, again, my argument, right? It is, damn, how do I want to tackle this?
Yeah, how you going to say this? True? Come on.
Yeah. I think that just from what I gather, there is this assumption that we're operating on the same equal footing. And that's not the case. So I'm not saying you should be like, throwing the rose petals at his feet. I'm saying that it just seems to be that most women truly don't grasp. They put us all in the same ecosystem. You a man, but men generally know, and I'm not saying he has to be super tall or have a bunch of status or any of these things. It just blows my mind that I'm like, in most cases, the guy who elevates you, because what you said, Ty, was interesting, which, again, I appreciate you being honest. So again, this is not attacking you. You settled for him energetically. You made him feasible. In that, to me, that's disrespectful. I wish, because, okay, let's take that premise. Again, this is not attacking you. Did you convey that to him? Did you tell him, you're really not my pick, my choice, but I'm willing to walk this path with you? Did you convey that to him?
He knew he wasn't.
So you saying no? You didn't tell him?
That's why we were friends.
Because he tried multiple times and she made him.
He didn't try multiple times. I feel like he knew his way to get into being close to me was being my friend first. He was, like I said, he wasn't that attractive. He was a bigger guy. He was cool, hella cool, great personality. You know what I mean? But not a looker.
But Todd, with respect
and
to his
nobody else
question,
saw him until I saw him.
You know why that is? That's
Are
normal.
you saying that you didn't communicate it? Are you saying that
Say it again?
With respect to True's question, are you saying that you didn't tell him? You just assumed that it was.
I didn't never tell him that you're not my top type. No, because
you treated him like it though, for sure.
Let me explain though, because by the time that I decided, when he finally did shoot his shot, right, my mindset was, why not? What could I lose from this? I could only gain from this. I didn't see it in my mind, honestly, as me settling. I saw it as this would be the best choice for me. Instead of going for somebody else who I just see as attractive, why not go for somebody who I feel actually values me, who we have a good relationship, who I feel like and trust? You know what I mean? Like, I can look past that. You starting to look attractive to me now because I like all these other things about you.
Fair. So basically what I took from what you said, right? Because I did say this, I'm not advocating that men be dishonest. I'm advocating that typically the men that are honest are the ones that would not have to wear you down to get your attention. He got your attention because you picked him off the strength of his attractive level or whatever it is he does it for you. And then you're saying, well, then tell me that you just want to do that. And I'm coming from the premise, most of the time when he is that dude, he does tell you. He don't have to play that duality of like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be faithful. No, that's not that dude. That dude is letting you know, like, okay, this is how I'm gonna slot you. This is what's gonna go. This is how this is gonna work. But that conversation wouldn't happen with a guy that has to wear you down, or wouldn't happen with a guy that doesn't have that ability in most cases. It's not a common thing. And I'm saying that sometimes it seems like you guys are enemies of your own selfishness, your own levels of desire. You want to take the best option and minimize him. You want to put the Ferrari, you want to put a governor on the Ferrari. You want to limit the ability. And then you're saying, well, if you're in a relationship with me, you should do that yourself.
The Ferrari came to me. I didn't pick the Ferrari. I didn't go to the Ferrari. No, seriously. And I've never, honestly speaking, I have never been in a relationship with a man and he's told me from the beginning that he still wanted to explore options. I've never had a man just be upfront and honest about that. They've always wanted to be with me. They've always asked me to be their girlfriend. They've always wanted to be in a relationship with me. I didn't even have to necessarily push that. It was brought to me. So in those situations, all I'm saying is don't bring that to the table if that's not what you want. Now, I understand that some women put that out there. What do you want? What we doing? What's going on? And you have to make a decision. But even in that honesty, right, and saying, I want what we got going on right now, or I really don't want to be committed because I'm a Ferrari and I'm still grooming to do.
I'm sorry, Ty, go ahead.
No, go ahead, True.
So I'll ask you this and then I'll pass the mic. Mm-hmm. Has it ever been where a dude did ask to be with you and you were like, me? Like you want me? Like you felt out of place because he wanted you?
You know what? Honestly, yes.
Okay.
Yes. In one relationship I did because I just felt like he was way out of my league.
Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest. I would say most women don't. Every woman feels like she's qualified. That's, in my opinion, the problem. The fact that you're being picked is one part of it, but whom is picking you, I think, is more equally important. And the assessing word that Willie used earlier, I think is a good word. women don't assess. They all think that they're qualified for the best of every option, which is why I'm saying if you just so happen to catch his attention in whatever season, I'm not saying he should be dishonest, but know, like, read the room, know the lay of the land, and where's the appreciation for that? And you don't ever hear it. That's why with these people who celebrities and stuff, and they be like, oh, girl, he cheated on. I'm like, you're shocked? You're surprised? It blows my mind. It's blasphemous. And I land.
Let's go, your boy there.
Man, I think that we ignored something that Pretty said, and it just like alarm bells went off in my head when she said it. Men have had this bros before hoes protecting each other, like riding with each other, no matter what now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost no code. Like, you can cheat on your girl, cheat on your wife, you can do all, like, they co-sign a lot of problematic things. But then we always hear something about the sisterhood, as if men didn't have this for a long time. And I just don't understand that specific double standard, because why is it that men can excuse and enable other men's problematic behavior, but when women do it, it's a problem for you? I think that if you all get to have bros before hoes, we should have the sisterhood, and y'all should shut the fuck up about it. Like, I was just like, was I the only one that heard it like that? Because y'all be covering for each other, and I don't know. That just did something for me when she said that. I was like, y'all need to not ever bring up the sisterhood and feminism if you're gonna have bros before hoes and your little whatever y'all got.
But if that's what we're doing, the only people that should have that talking point are the hoes, because those are the only ones that are being put behind anything. Notice we don't see good women in the sisterhood, wifely women, the women that we respect, that we admire. None of them are in the sisterhood. It's always the undesirable hoes that, or the, again, feminists that men generally don't want. So when you're saying bros before hoes, the cold part is, ask any man on this panel, would they condone their homeboy cheating on their wife? And I'll give you $100 if one of them says yes, because that shit doesn't happen. We don't condone shit like that. Now, men in white kicking it, and he like, listen, he got a girl, but it's a bitch he finna go with. He already know where I stand. It's understood, like, you know, nigga, you might not want to fuck up what you got at home, but he a grown ass man. I'm not gonna condone it just because I don't duct tape that nigga's ankles and tell him he can't go. Like, I don't snatch his keys like he drunk and say, nah, bro, you can't go fuck that bitch. That's not what happens. None of us are up here go ever probably, I would say, even in the chat, most men aren't going to condone a man cheating on his wife. And most of us aren't going to even condone a man cheating on their girlfriend, even though there's times we can understand it. We can see why they want to do it, but we don't condone it. So to say that, you know, bros before hoes and the sisterhood should be the same, cool. If that's the stance, then the only people that need to have that are the hoes. Like, and by hoes, I'm just a blanket term for just undesirable women, because those are the only women we see in the sisterhood anyway.
I guess I can agree with that, but as long as we saying that only because honestly, I really don't know how y'all view sisterhood. Like, Pretty had a panel where we talked about the sisterhood and like what it meant to us. And I think that it is completely different than what y'all think. And so I can agree to that if you're saying that the only people that are in that bros before hoes condoning and enabling problematic behavior are fuck niggas. And then the only people in the sisterhood are the hoes. Cool, great. But you can't put the sisterhood on every woman just because it sounds a way to you. Because the way we view sisterhood, not the sisterhood, but the way we view sisterhood is completely different than what y'all think.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's purposefully disingenuous, but I do think that it is. So to what Willie said, like, we grown now. Like, bros before hoes, Like we in our 30s. Like we hear that with boys in their young 20s. Like I'm not here to defend bros before hoes type. If any man say that, leave him. Like get away from him. Right? We don't. That's ridiculous. Like I remember being young and like covering for my homie. I would never do that. Don't even play with me and ask me to, like, bro, don't call my phone on nothing like that. I'm not covering for you. You're not about to make me into a liar. Like you just not, right? And I think what I think about when I think about the sisterhood, I think about being a girl's girl, right? I'm not a boy's boy, like at all. Like can no man look at me like and get me to condone his bullshit because he's a man. That's just never gonna happen. I disagree all day with whatever, if I disagree with it. But I don't know. It could be I think most of what we believe is perception anyway, right? My perception of the girls is that they look like normal girls. They look like, all the regular women. Like when I'm watching Pop the Balloon and then, a woman say something stupid and all the girls is like doing a little like, that was stupid what you just said. So I don't know. It could just be my perception. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. But I see adult women being a part of the same. If any woman that's an adult say she's a girl's girl, she's a kid. She's immature. Like that's just I don't know. That's just what I find.
But I say that I'm a girl's girl. That's because I'm looking out for my fellow women. Like my answer to Pretty's question was literally like the sisterhood to me and being a girl's girl to me is I am looking out for and supporting women, black women specifically, and only. We just gonna just black women. Because I know what it's like to be unsupported. I know what it's like to be out in the world and feel the way we do and being looked at the way we are looked at. And so, not that I enable bad behavior, because I've called out bad behavior before for women. It's not the bad behavior. It is you need support, and no matter what, I'm going to support you. I don't have to condone it, but I do have to support you at a certain level. There's a baseline there. And that's what being a girl's girl and being in the sisterhood is for me. So it's not for little girls. Now, when you hear the stupid stuff, being attached to being a girl's girl, that's another thing. But truly and genuinely for like grown ass women, that's what it means to us.
You kind of said what I said, but it was a little bit lighter. But you essentially said, like, you said no matter what. That was no matter what. That was one of the words that came out your mouth.
I know, but no matter what does not mean that I'm condoning bad behavior. I mean, I am supporting you because I understand what it is like to be unsupported. So it doesn't, but I feel that way about humans in general, Black humans in general. Let me say that, because I understand the experience of Black people and I want to support everyone. I know that you are probably not making the best decision, but there is a baseline support that you should have. Well, for me, that I should have, and for anybody that feels that way, like me. So that's what I mean.
Well, fellas, I don't support y'all no matter what, and I think I'm still, relatively good guy. But if you want bullshit, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say it.
Okay. As you should.
Well, I'm gonna say that like I haven't seen it yet. So, good for you. You're being a boy's boy. As I've seen it, you've been very boy's boy all the times I've been on a panel with you. So good job. Fight the power. But when it comes to like the idea of like the sisterhood, right? And women and how they interact with each other, it is scrutinized because I feel as though men are very aware that when women unify, similar to when Black people unify, like y'all have no power. Like the only power you have is your ability to separate people. The only power you have is your ability to make us second guess each other, which is why you hear women don't attack y'all's barbershop culture. Women do not attack guys, game nights. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't overtly, oh, I can't stand this culture of y'all just going out. No, maybe a few women will complain here and there to you personally, her significant other, but we're not going out picking and attack it. I cannot tell you how many men, I mean, actually, True just did it on this panel tonight, spoke on behalf of women and how women exist in women's spaces. He's like, oh, when y'all are with each other, you guys do A, B, and C. How do you know? You weren't invited to brunch. You don't have a mimosa in hand. How do you know? How do you know how we react to each other? How do you know what we talk about? You're not there. You didn't get the invite. So for me, like I always wonder why it is that you guys are so invested in telling us what we discuss when we're amongst women, how we correct other women, how we talk to other women, what we say, what we are complicit with, who we co-sign. You don't know. You're not a part of the conversation. But it's because you need to neg other women and weaker-minded women who will second guess women because of what you say. Because you say things like, oh, women don't hold each other accountable. So they mirror and echo that rhetoric. Women don't hold each other accountable. But when women hold each other accountable, like for example, when I brought up to Mont, when I first met him and I said, you were essayed by that lady. If I would have met that lady and have spoken to that lady, I would have held that lady accountable because you were essayed by that lady, right? But you didn't want to hear that. You didn't want to hear me hold another woman accountable because it's only when it's a way that we're shaming and berating. No, we hold women accountable all the time. It's just not in the way you desire. And I'm sorry, but like, I don't know what to tell you.
And Mike, can I 10 seconds? You know, I think anybody on this panel and in the comments can objectively say that I've been attacked by men way more often than you're attacked by women, right? Because objectively, you're probably a girl's girl and I'm not a guy's guy. I stand on truth. I stand on what I believe in. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? I get attacked all the time by men that you say I'm in this, you're so pro man, but like they call me a simp in the comments all the time. It is what it's my life on here. I don't care. I stand on it. So one of us is objectively more, stand up to the, the group more than the other. So
all right. So what he not lying, pretty. Might get called a simp probably. It used to be me. They used to call me the simp for disagreeing all the time. And now it's mine. And they don't even really say the shit to me no more, except for like 3 people. And them niggas just don't like me. I don't even think they disagree with my points. I just think that 3 people don't like me. It worked that way. But yeah, he normally don't agree with the men in general. Damn, it was so many different things. So okay, I'm gonna start with the boy. Like I agree with my point about that was when we was younger. And like how we clicked up as younger men and how as we mature and evolve, like we got families and kids and wives and shit. We niggas is not trying to go on 2-mans and bros before. Like that shit is not on the niggas' mind at this age. Like we don't operate like that at this age. We grow out of that shit for the most part. Does man code exist? Yeah, but it's not the same thing as the ideology or the way in which you like I owe more to my family than I owe to anybody. Period. Like I'm not gonna. It's people I won't even hang out with, so I don't put myself in a situation where I could get taken away from my family for the most part at this point in life. I try and avoid a whole lot of shit specifically because as an adult man, like my family got to come first, making sure I'm alive or free or safe or spend my money in ways that are for my family. I prioritize all of that shit as an adult male. But we were speaking to earlier, I was speaking to the thought process at the time when I was a very young man and the cheating in that aspect of it. But when I think and this is I could be wrong about what the sisterhood means, because I think when you all say it, in my personal opinion, from the outside looking in, it appears that you're speaking to community and y'all loving each other and being there for each other and trying to support each other. And that's how y'all view it. From the outside looking in, at this age, though, it appears that you do that with each other, but there's also this aspect of not holding each other accountable, like engaging in and keeping delusion going on, and like the so a way for me to explain what I'm saying, maybe this analogy will come over. There's certain friends that I didn't want like an ex-girlfriend to hang out with for no other reason than I felt she was bitter and she was putting that bitter shit on her, and it's like that she was gonna cause a problem in the relationship if she let that girl come in and discuss or talk to her anyway. It wasn't to the benefit of the relationship. It wasn't even to the benefit of her. The girl actually was jealous of her, and I could have hit the friend, but she would use the relationship as a friend to throw salt and mess that girl mood up. And the girl would allow her to under the girl ideology. And in doing so, that's kind of how I think, at least from the outside looking in, a lot of men view the current girl thing. Like, I'm just coming to you as a woman. No, you're not. You coming to her because you tried to steal her nigga. It didn't work. And now you want to break the relationship up so you could try and get your lick back or hope that he's single now because she leave him and you tricked him. You didn't think about, I love this woman and I'm such a girl's girl. You looked at this man and you knew he had a woman. You could just tell niggas that got at least one woman. Like, it's not, and you decided, I want that. I'm going to get him. It didn't work out how you want. Now you want to sabotage that relationship. And you'll blame that on being a girl's girl. Or you'll be bitter from a relationship and then say, I'm a girl's girl, and what you're actively doing is trying to keep your friend single so you don't have to be the one that's alone at the mimosas. You know what I'm saying? Now, the idea of community, I don't think men have an issue with that in general. Maybe some do. I'm not even going to speak to the other man. I'm going to speak to the perspective. You say what? What'd you say, Pretty? Yeah. I'm
All right, go ahead, Mark. When you get a chance.
All right, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just go ahead, because I know I'm trying to get to the next question before we end. So I was just saying, just kind of bring it to an end. You can finish.
The end.
All right, man. Go ahead, Willie.
You know what the man code is? Let's say like bros before hoes. That's nobody above the age of 25 is talking about that shit. So if you hear a nigga talking about bros before hoes, please remove yourself from that man's presence expeditiously. The man code is me knowing that my homeboy is fucking around with his wife, her calling me and me saying that ain't none of my business. Don't put me in that. I don't have nothing to do with it. That's the man code. That's what we do to our friends, because like we're not finna jump in the conversation and be like, oh, he did what to you? We're not your friend. So the man code is me just saying, hey, that's between you and your husband. Leave me out of it. What we see the sisterhood doing is condoning the same behaviors that has been claimed that are being shunned or shamed, and we're not seeing that. We see women encourage women to do hoe shit. We see women encouraging to do man hating shit. We see women encouraging other women to be single, independent, and insufferable. So that's what we're saying the difference is. I do believe that there is a space full of that. I do believe there's a space full of decent to good women who may have some different version of the sister code or the sisterhood of being a girl's girl. But when we're talking about it, we're talking about the ones that we see on these panels, that we see on these shows, and that unfortunately a lot of us see dealing with women in real life. How many, you ask any of the dudes in here that have hit a married woman, her friends knew about it, didn't stop her, asked questions, wanted to get dick vicariously through her. And that's a common experience that we all have in life. So that's what we're talking about. Grown men aren't talking about bros before hoes. There is a man code for sure, but we're never ever being like, you know what, man? Yeah, go fuck the other bitch, bro. I know you got a wife, man. Just here, look, leave your phone at my house or she'll think you over here playing the game while you go. We're not doing that. That's not the type of shit we're doing. Y'all will lie for your girlfriends in a heartbeat. Every one of us has a girl that we could have used and said, hey, call your friend and say, hey, I'm going to call. Give me your friend's number. I'm going to call and say where you are. What y'all did last night, y'all by default going to lie for her. Like, we've seen the skits. We've seen it happen in real life. So that's the difference between the man code and the sisterhood.
Go ahead, Pearl. I know you want to get there. Go ahead.
So I can't negate or invalidate your experiences. I think the problem is who you're viewing the sisterhood experiences from. Why do you all keep associating what is supposed to be mature accountability with women who are equally immature and codependent on each other and co-sign? That's not a sisterhood. That's just a collection of immature women. we all used to, and there are still women, just like Willie said, to his point, that were present. There were certain women that you wouldn't bring to your mother or your aunts or your grandmas or your aunties. There was a reason for that. That was because they were representative of the sisterhood. They were a collection of, once again, mature, responsible leader, Black women, right, who held you accountable. They were respectable women, and you had to show respect, and you had to show up and show out when you brought those people or those individuals, including your friends. You couldn't just walk through the houses and say and do what you want. Those were the women that you couldn't even curse around. So I think we're just making a misassociation or misinterpretation. There's still, like you said, solid, good, accountable, holding women out here. That's the sisterhood. That's the originator. That's what it is. There's no way on earth a bunch of hood rats, or whatever you want to call them, low-hanging fruits, or just women that are not desirable, that are going to take over womanhood and sisterhood. They're not. That's why y'all call them thoughts. But I'll land.
I can see that y'all aren't you and like Ty, or and you're saying both. Y'all don't think y'all are the women we're talking about that are in the sisterhood doing this fuck shit. I don't see either one of y'all telling your girlfriend to go get some outside dick on her husband. But unfortunately, y'all are the minority and not the majority. That's it. That's why we say it that way. So remember, I'm not going to talk about the minority in most things. But when we're talking about the sisterhood in general, it's typically the fuck shit that I'm talking about. And we experience that more often than we experience the other side.
There's two different terms altogether. It's almost like how the term woke was hijacked, and it completely means something different now. When men are referring to the sisterhood, particularly in these spaces, it's not what the women are referring to at all. It's just something different. When we say sisterhood, I don't use that term for one, but when you hear men say that, what they're speaking of is all of the characteristics that the gentleman mentions tonight, and there's nothing that anybody could make us think differently about it for. It is what it is. But I don't believe that it's the same women that are referring to what you deem a sisterhood. It's a completely different connotation. Even though we're using the same word, that's a term that's been hijacked already, and y'all can't have it back. Sorry.
All right, go ahead, Brittany.
So when it comes to like, here's where I'm going to be in the middle, right? And I'm going to say that I can tend to agree with what Plumpy down here has said, but I can also agree with, a lot of the other talking points. And what I agree with is, sorry,
I'm only Plumpy because
what I agree with is. What I agree with is that the definition of a sisterhood is imperfect, right? Like, it's imperfect. We cannot sit here and say that it's one thing. So I will not agree that women who get together and make bad decisions are not a part of a sisterhood. That's why when Bo said what she said earlier, I fully agree. A sisterhood, not the sisterhood. There is not one coalition where Black women have decided to get together and be like-minded. That's impossible. However, when women get together, it's a sisterhood. You can't deny it. It is what it is. So there will be sisterhoods that make bad decisions and sisterhoods that make good decisions. There will be brotherhoods. Quite literally, Epstein Island is a brotherhood. I don't care what y'all say. That's a brotherhood. That's a collective of men who decided to do diabolical things together. And then you have brothers that are.
Wasn't Jasmine Maxwell there? That's
It's still a brotherhood. What are you talking about? It doesn't matter that. Why are we sitting here acting like we don't know that? Like, are we serious?
Your time's up.
Stop being disrespectful.
You just call him Plumpy. Your time's up. I can't tell you.
Right? First of all, Plumpy is a term of endearment. Relax. Anyways, so.
But her time really is up though.
It's really. I was just saying. But go ahead.
I just my point.
There's a clocker right there. It says 000. Game's over.
Are you okay?
Just notifying you? Jeez.
Anyways, there's a collective of people that when they agree to a certain thing, they're going to come together. So you're going to have collectives of sisterhoods and brotherhoods that are toxic and healthy. It does not deny the fact that it is what it is. it's a sisterhood, it's a brotherhood.
I think Pro, you're not in a sisterhood. You're just not, right? Not the one that we talking about. You know, you are in a sisterhood, right? You're probably a traditional one, but none of the men up here, none of the men I know would consider you to be in a sisterhood. Now,
I'm
Bo
not.
is fringe in the sisterhood that we talking about. Like, Bo got a little bit of allegiance, you know, but Bo still like she
Fringe?
still. I still think Bo level headed, but she just got a little bit of allegiance, so it's like she fights with that. Pretty's in the sisterhood. Pretty in the sisterhood, right? But she not in the
No,
stupid sisterhood though. Like
Triangulation. That's what this is. Triangulation. You're
now,
trying to triangulate women once again. That's what
Yeah.
you're trying to do, and it's working. It's okay though.
she likes to cut me off because I make the best points, so she has to stop me from talking. So, but what was I saying? Yeah, so like the sisterhood that we talking about is like girls from wherever. They all like I guarantee you, like from I don't care where you, I don't care. One girl from Chicago, the next girl from Philly. A guy, something happened with a guy. She was like, "Bitch, leave him. You cute. You deserve everything. You don't even know this girl. You deserve the world." Like girls say stuff like that. Like they're crazy. I never say to a guy like, "Bro, you deserve everything, bro. Like you don't need to be like that. Sound crazy. You deserve the world, bro. Like don't even be with a girl who's doing anything less than giving you the world." That's just like a common thing that girls be saying, and it's like that's the sisterhood that we talking about. It's just like immaturity and entitlement, and like it's just consistent across all of them. That's like it's like a girl language. It's like a language that y'all speak. Like I don't like I be watching me and my girl. We like the love shows. I watch Love Island and all that type of shit, right? Now on Love Island, the girls like pull up and they'll be like, bitch. They be like, girl, you look so good. They never going to like, yo, you don't look that good today. They never going to do that. That's the sisterhood. Like we don't got no compliments that we just automatically give other men. Like we just like, yo, bro, like looking good today, man. Looking like you've been in the gym. We don't just automatically throw out compliments. Like
mad because we affirm each other?
Y'all being homosocial, right? Pretty.
You're mad because we are telling each other that they look good? That's what you're mad at?
The sisterhood is built on superficial things, and then eventually it crumbles when you actually get into a real situation. Like the sisterhood is like girls make friends, and this is why, like, if you got a woman, you might find yourself telling her like certain friends are not good for her because they typically make friends with people who are fun to be around, right? In the superficial things. But as you mature, which is different for every woman, you might no longer make friends for those reasons. And I'm sure like Ty probably meets women who is like, yo, why are you trying to flatter me immediately, right? Like, why are you trying to like? What are you trying to do by flattering me? You don't even know me, right? That's the sisterhood that we're talking about, and most girls will accept that. But I think Ty is like a level-headed woman who's like, yo, I don't, I'm not with that. If I'm wrong, let me know, Ty.
The sisterhood is why body positivity exists for women.
It's gaslighting. It's like a whole gaslighting thing. Like when somebody tries to flatter you.
No, but Ty, would you mind answering his question? He wanted to just point you out and say you were a level-headed woman. Would you mind?
I am a level-headed woman. Thank you for that. But I mean, I think all women enjoy compliments. So if a woman comes up and naturally compliments me, it's like, oh, thank you, and we move on from there.
But have you ever been complimented to the degree where you're like, this is weird, like you don't have to do that? Not like just you're pretty, you're cute, like,
yeah,
but like, have you ever
that's how it is though? It's not usually more than that. It's like, oh girl, I really like your outfit. You like, oh, thank you. Or I really like your hair. You're like, okay, thank you. And then you go your separate ways.
You're saying that, so what I said you're saying never happened, as far as like to where you was like, yo, this is weird, like why are you trying to flatter me so much? You never felt like
that's never happened.
Okay.
Unless it was like a girl who ended up like you found out they like
wanted you for real.
Yeah. That's the only time that happens. Other than that, most women, I think it's a woman thing. Most women, when we see another woman, like I've been driving my car downtown, I see a woman and she looks stylish, especially Black women. I always make sure to tell her, oh, you look good today. You look really cute, because it just boosts our morale. Women like to hear that we look good, especially when we put in effort into things. You know, it just boosts our energy.
What he's talking about is like the compliments that you know aren't true. Like the compliment, has someone ever told you something, or she's not you personally, but have you ever seen someone tell somebody something that you know isn't true? Just objectively.
Yes,
that's what he's talking about.
No, really, it's not even that. I've had girls from comment sections, right, who disagree with me, right? And they just like, all right, I'm gonna be radical. I'm gonna go DM his girlfriend, right? They'll say, girl, you're so beautiful. You're this, that, and the third. So I don't want to do this to you, but like you need to leave him, right? You're telling this woman to leave her man, but you're gaslighting by trying to flatter her before and you're trying to like pull her into the girlhood, like girl, like you're perfect, you're great. You don't even know her. What are you talking about, right?
Show
like,
us your
gaslighting. I'm talking pretty. I'm sorry. I'm talking. Just compose yourself. It's gaslighting, and I don't know if you've ever picked up on it, but it happens all the time, and it's a tool. You might not want to admit it, but it's literally a tool that you guys use to like. But yeah.
So that's never happened to me. A girl has never slid into my DMs doing anything like that. The closest to it is like a girl blowing up my phone because she thought I was talking to her boyfriend, but it wasn't with flattery. It was just straight attacks. And I had to tell her, like, why are you calling me when you should be talking to him? Plus, she was way older than me, and I was 16. So, you know, that was a whole different thing. So I've never had that experience, so I can't really speak to that. But that would be questionable. Yes. That would be weird, right? And then you would think she's only coming with negative intentions because you don't know me or my man. So.
Hey, I did want to ask y'all this one question. What do men need that women won't respect? What do men need that women won't respect?
Your ass need a flu shot. You sound like you next month.
Or something, G.
Yeah, it was hard to understand the question at first. I'm like, what do men need?
That question is like only for half the panel, though. Like, so you want everybody answers you want the men, and you're gonna let the women answer what the women need after.
It don't matter who answered both. Like, what do men need that women won't respect?
Probably another woman, depending on the woman. I think majority of us won't respect that.
Hello?
Damn.
Can't do it.
You came out this motherfucker swinging, didn't you?
I land.
I agree with you, Pearl, 100%. That is
I wasn't even gonna say that.
Men constantly, it seems like it's this full choir advocating for poly relationships, or just open and let them dibble and dabble. If you're a respectable woman, you're not gonna get down with that. Well, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna say if you're a respectable woman, because I feel that there may be some women who are open to poly life that are respectable, right? That's just how they see things. There are women that have grown up in that type of culture where sister wives is a thing. For most of us, if you were raised on monogamy, you know, you respect yourself, you're not gonna get down.
Yep. Wait, so Ty, this is, I was just thinking this when you said it. So I would prefer a sister wife culture than a single mom culture any day.
If we had to compare those two, I would prefer the sister wife culture over single mom culture as well. Just thinking about the children, right? It's more beneficial to the children. And see, this is the thing, because when I think from my logical brain, I can understand the benefit of having multiple people in one household, multiple incomes. We can do more. We can build a community. But from an emotional and could I deal with this standpoint, no. And that might be selfish. It might be a really selfish answer, but it's my truth. You know,
I mean, I admitted to myself and shit when I was young. We all got our ways.
You know,
we all got our ways.
Keeping up with 2-3 women is crazy. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it for y'all. I understand why a man would, but just for me personally, like I'm too busy for that. And then I got to treat all 3 of y'all equally, even though one of y'all gonna be my favorite. And I have a hard time treating my kids equally because one is my favorite. Like I know I can do it with 3 girlfriends. That's crazy.
But them kids that.
Huh? Hell yeah! My kids know who my favorite is. Most of them are old enough to understand it.
Damn.
Yes.
You bogus, Joe.
No,
you
I'm
can't
not.
do that.
But no, Willie, do your kids have the opportunity?
This broke my heart.
Willie, do your kids have the opportunity to become your favorite?
Yeah. all the time.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like my mom had different favors at different times.
Yeah,
She's like,
my daughter. Yeah, they all know that my daughter.
Do it
Like,
before.
you know, with them, hey, daddy, I'm hungry. Fix something in the refrigerator. My daughter, daddy can't. Let's go, baby. It's just.
Is that your only girl?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had more than one girl, I'd stop having kids.
Yeah.
My baby is a girl. So, but what do men need that women won't respect? Respect. Because with a lot of times, women respect men is conditional to how they feel. Like women tell temporary truths. They respect you based on whatever the emotional state is at that time. The only person in a woman's life that she will always respect and give the type of respect that her husband should get is the man that she works for, the man that's her boss. Because when she's at work, no matter how her night went, she's happy, she's kind, she's helpful, she's chipper, all of that shit, because her boss requires her to be that in that professional environment. But when she goes home, the man gets the leftovers. He gets the this motherfucking traffic, these kids. Let me tell you about what happened at work. I'm stressed out. So that's what a lot of women don't respect, is that they need respect in its purest form and not just the leftovers of what you have left to offer us based on whatever your circumstances are.
Willie said something.
I think it's really interesting that we'll talk about people being man haters, but we don't talk about all of these men who hate little boys, who grow up to be men. We don't talk about how y'all think it's a rite of passage to mistreat little boys who grow up to be men. Like, we just sat by and like listened to a man just say he prioritizes certain children and completely neglects his son and prioritizes his daughter. Don't shake your head. That's what he fucking said.
He didn't say that.
He didn't say that.
That is what he said. That is what he said. He said he has a favorite child. His other child could go fix their own self something to eat, and he would only care about what the fuck his daughter said. And here you are crashing out. Here you are crashing out about what another man said about his family that you cannot co-sign, that you're not a part of. This is exactly what I mean. Y'all will sit here.
But you can co-sign it.
Y'all will sit here and claim that you guys are for men, and these are haters, and these are man haters and they hate men. What about y'all men who out here who hate boys, who torture little boys and bully them into adulthood, and they become injured men like y'all? They become injured small men who go on to harm other people because you guys do not make boys feel mentally safe as children at all. You don't care for them. You don't love on them. You don't listen to them. You don't empathize with them. And then they grow up to be injured like y'all. That's the part that, like, about this conversation every single time. You're sitting here wanting to defend this grown-ass man. Why didn't you want to defend the boy he just said he fucking neglected? Why didn't you want to defend
He never said, because he never
Why don't you want to defend
back
that?
chat, read the back.
Why don't you want to
Read the back
defend
chat.
that little boy? You'd rather defend this grown man that's on a panel instead of defending the little boy. Why don't you do that? That's my problem with y'all. You want to defend a dude whose balls dropped off, but you don't want to defend a little boy. You don't. That's my problem with y'all. This is weak behavior. This is exactly why we're saying this whole aspect of brotherhood is so problematic. Y'all will sit here and talk about how we're over complimenting each other and how we're saying that, we're doing too much. I will compliment Ty till she's blue in the face. Girl, I love your hair. I love your skin. It's popping. Girl, listen, I love your bangs. I love your locks. And I will continue to compliment y'all, but nothing I'm doing is as harmful as what y'all do to these little boys. And y'all just sat by and let it happen. That was some BS.
We just know that
So Willie said something I thought was interesting. Plus, she's boring, so let's change the subject. Now, when you said earlier about, you was talking about like cheating, I think that like cheating is so much better. Like when you actually don't cheat, or you don't deal with a bunch of women, like it's so much more peaceful in your life in general. Like not having to text with your phone sideways, like not having, like allowing your girl to be able to play on your phone without thinking about a message about to pop up. Like actually your life will be so much more peaceful once you do get to a point where you're not necessarily interested in a bunch of women. So, I just want men to take that into consideration if any of the guys are. do get into that, you're gonna have a much more peaceful life when you yeah.
This man just put in the comments, let's change the subject. That'll hurt her ego. Mine. Like, text it on the back chat where I can't see it, friend.
To answer the question, I think men need sex on demand.
I guess I was right.
Thank you.
No, you're not right. I just see it. Like, how dumb can you be?
Oh, y'all. True was talking, y'all. True was talking.
I told you she's retarded. Like,
y'all cut
And
him
you
off.
are rotund and you're
Hold on.
large.
Pretty.
that's cool.
No, he just called me a slur.
I know. I'm talking to both of y'all. Let True. He was talking. So both of y'all cut it out.
Go ahead,
It's
True.
quick.
I'm sorry, G.
No, you good. I think to answer the question, I think men need sex on demand and just access to it, at their leisure, at their level of appetite. And I don't know if women can actually respect that, because it seems like that may be selfish or overindulging or gluttonous, because clearly, you guys have emotions and lives and things and energy or whatever. But I don't know if women can actually respect that. So I'll land.
Everybody answer it.
JR, you need to invite. I wish my was bigger. That motherfucker's funny. You need to invite them onto the panel. He's funny as shit.
We do not need another you.
No, he way funnier than me. He's way funnier than me. Way funnier than me.
So I'm gonna say this: there's a real problem with using slurs that actually attack a certain community. Here's what I'm gonna say: it does not offend me that you want to call me retarded, because I have a higher IQ than you, and I have a lower BMI than you, and I have a lot longer life expectancy than you. Okay, so there's it doesn't offend me, but there are quite literally people who, when you use that R word, it is very offensive. And I get that people don't tone police, but I think it's really funny that I'm tone policed by calling you round and plump, right? But you can quite literally attack an entire group of people who did nothing to you because you think I'm dumber than you. When, Willie, you have been unable to refute anything that I've said intellectually. Unable. Right? You've called me names, sir. The last time we were on a panel together, you attacked my husband and my marriage and said, if I was in front of you, we would get hurt. That's what your rebuttal to me was I only said this because you're not in front of me and you couldn't physically attack me. That was what your rebuttal was. When I know I could run faster than you, you'd get winded. You couldn't catch me, right? So when we're sitting here trying to act as though I'm the one that's triggered, I've triggered every calorie in your body this entire time, right? That's why you look the way you do. That's why you're acting the way you do. But the fact of the matter is you're purposely trying to be inflammatory. And then people are muting and monitoring comments from people who are here supporting me, while you and all your supporters, they get to be as inflammatory as they want in the moment, right? And nobody is muting them. No one's tone policing them. But somehow I'm being tone policed. Let me make something very clear. You can't trigger me. There's nothing you say about me that's true in any way. You wish it was. You wish I was what you said I was. But I know exactly who you are because you tell your story. You trauma dump on us about your 2-time divorce. I didn't tell you anything about my life. People only trauma dump when they feel triggered to do so. Right? That's the difference between you and I. So let's go ahead and pause it here, because I'll be retarded. But what I will never be is fucking pathetic. What I will never be is a twice divorcee from the same woman because I had no options. What I will never be is somebody who neglects their son. That's what I won't be. And then turns around and complains about man haters as an adult. Seek fucking therapy, Willie. And Mont, grow a fucking pair.
there's not really much for me to respond to considering the source. And then again, I've seen your husband and your child, so there's nothing for me to talk about now. Like, if that's the man that you chose to marry and have a child with, tells me everything I need to know about you. But just also remember, when they were muting you in the chat, I told them not to. I said everything is fair game. I told them not to do it, said it's not fair. Don't mute her. Let her say what she needs to say. But at the end of the day, considering the source, there's not really a whole lot to respond to. Like, nothing that I said that she said that I said has been said. None of those points were made. And, you know, she's fixing to go cry in, you know, her husband's lap.
I think it would have been much more strategic to just instantly change the subject after she got done. I think that would have been funny. You know, I'm a funny guy.
I do appreciate not having to watch my phone when I go to the bathroom or to the shower. To your point earlier,
Yeah,
because that, like, having to like do the little, like, I know niggas got filter screens and shit. I'll be looking at niggas with them screens, like,
with the privacy screen.
It ain't working. Yeah, like,
I hate them.
like I told you this story about this. I was dating this cheerleader from the Houston Rockets, right? She flew to Indiana. I was in the shower, getting ready. I took my phone in there. I had I think it was a Palm Trio. This was back in the day. So I'm in the shower trying to get ready and shit. And she told me she could cook. She set my kitchen on fire, and then ran into the damn bathroom and start going through my phone. I'm out there fighting a fire while she going through my motherfucking phone.
God.
Get to these super chats.
Hey, we got Bob VS. I guess that's how you say that. 6793. Became a YouTube member.
Does Can they have one? I want to read it.
Yeah, he got one.
All right.
Brother Numsy. 99-cent super sticker, thank you. The Chicago Rilla with the 5. Also, JR gave up the Beijing and let the Grays come in now. Oh.
Damn.
Damn.
Yo, why is Rilla on your neck like that, bro? Y'all from the same city.
I don't take shit personal, man. He's just
I know y'all cool. I'm just saying, damn.
Chicago Rilla again with the 5. You can't be serious, chat. Hit the like button. This is egregious. Good boy 12345 with the $2. Plenty talk, no sense. Pretty dumb at it again. Good boy 12345 again with the 2.
Fuck.
But we know that's how women move. Monkey branch. DF5528 with the 5. How are Black women more disciplined than Black men, while Black women have 1.5 million more children? That makes no sense. Good boy again, 12345 with the 5. Women want men to cope women's estrogen, but calls women testosterone character flaw.
Women want men to cope with their, or call men's testosterone a character flaw. Back to we're expected to make concessions for the portions of you being emotional or whatever your body does to you, but what our body does to us, nobody cares about, and we're demonized for. I think that was a great speech.
Thank you.
That was a different way of looking at it. Sorry.
What'd you say, Ty?
That was a different way of looking at that. That's the point to talk about, you know? Go ahead.
Prophecy the Savior with the 5. Why does she attack the men on the panel? Masculinity versus the point. Does everything have to be disrespectful? At what point do we just have an honest convo? Prophecy the Savior again. JR, at what point will you stop allowing misandry? At this point, the conversation is not being had. Prophecy the Savior again. At this point, it looks like we are not having people on the panel for an actual conversation, and rather for shock value and views. Are we not mature?
No, do it, women.
Women are not supposed to compete with men. What?
Brother Numsy again with the 99-cent super sticker. Thank you. Prophecy the Savior with the 5. I will say some people on this panel have a rare talent for speaking at length without disturbing the facts. Good boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 5. Sisterhood will put sisterhood over truth, justice, and what's right. She will laugh at a woman calling a man short, but angry at a man calling a woman obese. Prophecy the Savior with the 5. Pretty intellectual, have a special way of speaking that makes people appreciate her silence.
Mont and Pretty are very consistent. Mont is still simping a lot bit, gradually balancing it. But for Pretty, she's notoriously feminine in nature. Feminist in nature.
Why? Prophecy the Savior with the 5. For some people, wait a minute. All of a sudden say that I read that already. For some people on the panel, intelligence seeks you, but some of you appear to be masters at hiding, which is astonishing to everyone watching currently.
This nigga is the creative. That's the most creative way I've heard someone call somebody stupid in a long time. Like, bro is a wordsmith. That is wild.
Brother Numsy with the 99-cent super sticker. Thank you. Good boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 5. When you hear or see, don't make me side with the man. You know the sisterhood is toxic and prejudiced towards men. Ekanai with the 2, woman. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to read that, Willie?
Excuse me. I'm Ekanai's personal comment reader. Woman, your time is up.
Hey, Willie, you're not supposed to be doing that stuff. Accent, man.
I didn't do the accent. I said I put emphasis on it. He put 3 exclamation points. That's the orthography of it.
You still kind of added a little bit.
Bro, I swear I didn't. If you don't compliment a woman, she will pass out. Like, I just put the on it because it was 3 exclamation points. I want to give Miss first.
All right, Barnes Gross with the 5. Women be telling clearly ugly and fat women that they beautiful. Into the Black Dragon with the 2. Looks like we've come full circle, Miss Pearl, huh? Exactly. He was having a conversation about Polly a while ago. Prophet the Savior with the 10. Just now, JR, you allow Pretty to lie and say Willie neglects the child and made up a whole narrative and then turned around and acted like a victim once Willie came back at her. This is sick. Prophecy the Savior with the 5. She even attacked True, and he has been nothing but respectful. Misandry is disgusting. Philosophical Radio with the 9.99. PI, you just call all the men weak and damaged for nothing. And you insult the men every week simply for disagreeing with you. You're triggered every week. It's just articulated misandry. Prophecy the Savior. Hey, well, you on one tonight, ain't you, with the 5? Allowing her to continue to be disrespectful on this panel and not one woman call her out is what we mean by the sisterhood, but let's pretend it's fake.
Ooh.
It's the dragon with the 2. I mean, what do you want us to do there? Into the dragon.
He's got a point.
So which one of y'all white men holding PI accountable?
Women, that's not goddamn white men.
White men. Thank you. See, I just switched that form. Got to be smart there.
The women.
Hey, in prophecy, just know, bro, I don't want nobody to protect me from nothing. I want all the smoke. I'm here for it. It's nothing. Like, I'm not ducking smoke. If you got a problem, I say no problem. Like, I want it all. So, I mean, I get what you're saying about the mod and shit, but I don't trust me. I'm the last nigga that needs to be protected from.
And I was just going to say, I was going to correct her on when she started saying that he was neglecting his son, but Willie
you was?
Don't say nothing. Yeah. He said it to everybody, don't say nothing.
Yeah, don't. And that's to be fair. They can't see the back chat. I did tell them, like, just let the bitch, let her talk, and then she can say what she's going to say. We ain't even have to respond to it, because the best thing you can do to a dummy is ignore them. It's like the special kids in high school. Like, they're retarded. You just walk past them. You don't stop and talk to them. You don't entertain them. You got to stay away from them. Otherwise, you end up stepping in shit with them.
All right, y'all. We're gonna talk. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna talk in the back chat. We're talking in the back chat. Appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure that like button on your way. Y'all, y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Thank you. Good night.